We're exposing Democrat DNC shills, DNC agents, DNC plants. All of them are coming in to disrupt the movement. They're working for the DNC. We got the receipts. We got the invoices. We got all you need. These people are trying to get ahead of the election. And I'm going to tell you right now, foundational Black Americans will not let that happen.
The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Welcome, my brothers and sisters, to Afro Elite's YouTube channel. I appreciate every single last one of you all. Thank you all for being here live. I hope you guys had a good weekend. This is the first of the week. We got a good stuff coming up this week. We got a lot to discuss this week. Good content coming up this week. So make sure that you guys, as you guys are coming in, what I would really appreciate is y'all hitting that like button. Y'all hitting that like button, y'all hitting that subscribe button, y'all hitting all of that good stuff, okay? Make sure y'all do that, please, and thank you. I appreciate you all so very much for that. Thank you guys so very much. Now, we're going to get stuff started. Okay, we're going to get stuff started. First off, just again, thank you guys for being here. Y'all could be in another place, but you guys are here. That's important. That means a lot to me. So thank you guys for that. Gonna get stuff started because last time we was talking about Deontay. We were talking about Deontay, and we were talking about how he's an agent for the DNC Shields. If you guys have seen the whole thing on For the Culture, I've been breaking that down. We've been handling these Democratic shields and agents before they even get up there. I want you guys to know this is why you guys need to be following, because I've been on this and other DNC shields earlier before anybody else. I was one of the first people to get on Deontay. I was on the first people to be like, nah, that Deontay guy, I don't know. Some seem kind of iffy. Some seem kind of fishy. I was on that. Okay. If you guys go back and watch For the Culture on the For the Culture channel, me and Zizi, when we did the Juneteenth thing, we was on Deontay, and that was exposed. So if you guys are not following, then you guys are getting your information late. Y'all don't want to do that. Y'all want to get your information now. Y'all want to get it before everybody else. Okay. This is why I love you guys, because we're all smarter than everybody else. Okay. That's bragging, but it's okay. It's okay to brag a little bit. Okay, it's okay. I like y'all smarter than everybody else. Okay, so it's okay to brag. Everybody else is just getting on what we've been on. Okay, if y'all want to be on it instead of getting on it, then y'all need to be following. Appreciate every single last one of y'all for being here. All right, so thank you guys for that. Now we're gonna get stuff started. Now I gotta say this. We gotta address this. It's been drugged, but we gotta address this. All right, boy. And I'm gonna say this because this segues into what we're going to be discussing, and I need everyone to pay attention to this, because these tethers, y'all, these damn tethers are out of control. These tethers have lost their damn minds. All right. I gotta say this. I got to say this. Okay. Tell the truth and shame the devil. I gotta say it. When it comes to tethers, all the immigrant community, they have their own tethers. They do. But we gotta say this. And this isn't to bully anybody or to pick on anybody, but this is actually to solve a problem. We gotta solve a problem, and we gotta call a spade a spade. Let's call a spade a spade. Okay. Now, tethers are problematic, but there is certain types of tethers that just they first place. Okay, there's certain can we say it? Can I say it? I'm gonna say it. There are certain type of tethers that for a fact, like when you hear a tether who's a part of this group, they are like top tier tethers. I'm gonna say this out of love, because I love everybody. We love everybody, don't we? And I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. But boy, when I tell y'all, the Nigerians, when I tell you guys, y'all know I'm not lying. Oh my God, y'all know I'm not lying. What is up with y'all? The Nigerian tethers are sitting firmly on that throne of tetherhood. If there was a kingdom of tethers, if Nigerians is sitting up there with a big crown, they sitting up there with a throne with the damn stick thing. I'm talking about ain't nobody stepping to that throne. I'm saying, are all of them tethers? No, nobody's saying all of them are tethers. I'm saying for the ones that are tethers, Nigerian takes it. And I'm only saying that to fix a problem. Because when you see the most, because tethers be wilding and being disrespectful, but when you see the ones who are like going above and beyond on some like I want you to die type tetherhood, when you see like the most crazy type I'm at war with FBA tethers, those be the Nigerians more than likely 80% of the time. And I think I'm being nice with the 80%. To be honest with you, I'm being very fair with the 80%, because look, for y'all whose feelings are hurt, I want y'all to look at this. Okay, this is Monaleo's manager. Okay, and we found some we found some tethers of him. We found some tweets of him going back years ago. We found tweets of him going back years ago, and I know they'd be like, man, those are old though. Those are old. Those are not new though. Those are old. You can't say that. They're very relevant. Okay, as you can see, who goes by the name of Uncle Toby. First off, very interesting. Second of all, true to Akadas. I'm talking about it's Akada this, Akada that, Akada this. Okay, talking about Igbos versus Yorubas. Now we're on the same team. It's the Akadas we don't like. Remember, Akadas, Akada. It get worse. It gets worse, y'all. Akada. Hold on. Look, this one right here. Let me check this out. Okay, you got some calling people first Akada killers. What does that mean? Now, when you hear somebody talking about some Akada killer, you already know what group of people that come from. And I gotta say it to tell the truth. We gonna tell the truth tonight. I don't care whose feelings get hurt. Okay, this is another person that he manages as well too, called Maxo Cream or whatever his name is. Look at how they be. Talking about us. Now, it's very interesting. Because this is how they be feeling about foundational Black Americans. They feel this way. Truth be told, they do feel this way. And a lot of them, they'll come over there and that stuff doesn't get checked in their community. And it doesn't get checked by Pan-Africanists. So then when we check it, we're the bad guys though. Okay? Because I want you guys to remember, we were told that we need to overlook certain things and we just need to find a way to get over stuff. We were told, remember this? This is what he was saying about us before. Now, with all of this Akada killer, I'm an Akada women are L's, Akada this, I don't like the Akada, stay away from the Akada. But we get told that as foundational Black Americans, we need to take the high ground. We need to accept the fact that these people are tethers, these people are problematic, these people are destructive to the community and very dysfunctional, really, to their own community. But we just got to turn the other cheek. When they go low, we go high. That's what we get told.
The most important thing about being a Black American is, with the global presence that we have in our culture, with the copycatting that happens in our culture, with the denial of our culture, it's up to us to like morally take a high road when it comes to certain shit. So like being xenophobic doesn't help anybody, right?
No.
Being exclusionary of other cultures throughout the diaspora, even if sometimes y'all do that to us, that ain't our role.
It's not.
The most important thing about being a Black American is, with the global presence that we have in our culture, with the copycatting that happens in our culture.
Okay, now let's circle back. So now here's the thing. You will admit that they do certain things wrong. And this is the whole thing. They'll admit that they do certain things wrong. And then they'll be all like, yeah, I get it. But I mean, we just got to deal with it. And I'm going to say, no, we do not. We do not have to just accept that and deal with that. No more are we going to just be all like, well, I mean, I get they do this and they do this and this and this and this and they do all these things, but you know, it's up to us to take the moral high road. I'm not taking the moral high road, okay? Because taking the moral high road to them means we get exploited. Taking the moral high road to them means that we have to suffer in silence. And that's the moral high road. That's their version of morality. Letting our people get disrespected, letting our ancestors get disrespected. Okay, letting our lineage get disrespected, having our work that people have sacrificed their time, energy, and life for be disrespected. That is the moral high road. Let them tell it. Let them tell it. That's what morality is. That's what the right thing to do is. Are we going to tell them to do the right thing? No, don't worry about them doing the right thing. You need to do the right thing. It's up to you to take the moral high road. That's what it is. Okay. What is the moral high road? Getting spit on and disrespected. That's the moral high road. And don't complain about it either, because that's xenophobic. If you complain, then you're a villain. Just smile and accept him for that. Okay. He knows not what he does. It's up to you to take the moral high road. Okay. And let everybody eat off your plate. Okay. And if you don't, you're a villain. That's what we get told. Look. Okay. Well, I'll be the villain in your book then. How about that? How about we do that? If this is what makes me a villain, then I will be the villain in your story. I will embrace it. I'll embrace it. I'll be the villain to you. All right, okay. If this is where we are, then this is what it needs to be. Because I'm not gonna sit here and just be subjugated under the guise of what you define as righteousness. No, I'm not gonna do that. But we're gonna get stuff. We already cooking. All right. Thank you guys for being here again. I'm gonna play the copyright disclaimer to establish to YouTube that everything we play thus forth is protected under the guise of fair use. And as I'm gone, what I would greatly appreciate you guys doing is hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and hitting the notification bell and leaving a comment too. That's very important because the comments really do help. Okay. I need to actually change this up because the comments are a big deal. All right. So y'all make sure y'all do that. I'll be right back. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, all right. So here's the thing I wanted to talk about. All right, now I want you guys to remember the tweets, and this is why I opened it up. I opened it up with the tweets from this tether. Okay, I opened it up with that. I need you guys to remember that because it's going to become relevant later. Okay, it is. Before we get started, we already got a super chat already. Let's get to the super chat. It says, hold the truth hostage. It says, Haitian respect to you and FBA. Okay, appreciate that. Thank you very much. He says, many tethers are a part of the rainbow community and pushed as FBA by media. Pan-Africanism is a scam to take FBA resources because where's the pan-Europeanism? Yeah, come on now. Let's be honest. Let's tell the truth. We're going to tell the truth tonight. We're going to tell the truth tonight, and thank you for that. Thank you for that. Now, we're going to get into this. Now, I knew after the whole situation, after Deontay blew up, okay, let's be honest, after Deontay blew up, and let's be honest, who was some of the first people you saw in there for the culture was the first people you saw react to this. Just shameless plug for the culture went live immediately. Okay, shameless plug. We beat everybody, but it's no competition. But we got on Deontay, and I knew he was going to have a response to foundational Black Americans dragging him and exposing him. I knew he was going to have a response. I was just waiting. I was literally just waiting. I'm all like, okay, if it's not the next step, he's going to say something. I knew he was going to say something. I knew it. And he did. He did. So he invited this guest on. Her name is Lene Vanille. All right. We're gonna get into Lene Vanille. So we're gonna start, but I want you guys to get a little bit of background about Miss Lene. Now, she says that her mother is Gullah Geechee, and I've been doing my due diligence, as you guys know. Y'all know Afro Lee be doing his homework. Y'all already know I be doing my homework. Okay. So her mother is Gullah Geechee, and I have not found any evidence to the contrary of that. But her daddy, hold on. What? But her daddy is Filipino. Her daddy is Filipino. Okay. I'm just for context, I think that that's important for everybody to understand. Okay. Just for context, y'all. So now we're going to start looking into a little bit of the background we got going on. I want us to all know who we talking about before we really get into the interview. I want us to know who we talking about here. So we're just going to do a little background stuff of Lene. Now, she went on The Breakfast Club not long ago, and she has some things to say, and I was like, okay, not really feeling that, but we're going to listen to it.
Fight the power, but you do have to have some things ingrained in the way that you move about your day, period, to understand that the work never stops. So we just got to find that balance.
And for you, I want somebody who knows that women can have babies.
Oh, okay.
Only women can have babies. I just want to let you know that.
Interesting. There are other people who can have babies.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if they have a uterus, they can have babies. But they just might not identify as women.
Okay.
Those are two different things. Like, you can be biologically female, but you can't be biologically woman, because woman is a gender construct, a social construct. But if you got a uterus, yeah, you can have a baby.
Yes.
Okay. The whole, and this is something that they push. You can have a baby even if you're not a woman, as long as you have a uterus. And they're saying that as if, they're saying this as if you can have a uterus and be a man. A man can have a uterus. All right. Being a woman is a social construct. Being a female is a biological thing. And those two things, let them tell it with their logic, are not connected. Those two things are separate entities. Okay, being a woman and being a female is not the same thing. You can be a woman and not be a female. Let them tell it. You can be a woman and be a biological male. Let them tell it. That's what she's saying. Now, Jess has already made her stance on that very, very clear. Okay, and I don't think she was trying to start no big argument with that. But the whole, a man can have a baby too if he has a uterus. How does he have a uterus? Well, he a female. Okay, well, hold on. That's a little confusing. But this is what they're saying. And I feel like, I don't have any kids, but especially as we got a lot of mothers in the chat room. A lot of the mothers in the chat room, y'all feel very offended by this. Okay? Because really, this is a challenge to your womanhood. To you, as first off, to your motherhood and to your womanhood, to be very honest with you. This is kind of saying that, hey, your motherhood and your womanhood, it's not not as ingrained a part of you as you think it is. Okay, you being a woman is not a part of that. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a disrespect and a challenge to that, because when you talk about your life as a woman, what she's saying is that you don't have to be a female to talk about your experience as a woman. That's exactly what that means. You can talk about living your life as a woman and not be a female. That's what she's saying. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying what she's saying. I'm just elaborating on what she's saying. That is what she's saying. I just want y'all to know the characters that we dealing with. But the interview goes on. Okay. Somebody, okay. Hold on. Let me put you on timeout. Hold on. Not gonna do that.
That's the point. If you have a uterus, you can have a baby.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we agree on that.
You know, Lene, has the Democratic Party tried to co-opt your platform or method? Because I was reading this article in the New York Times yesterday, and the headline is "Democrats throw money at a problem." Jesus Christ, I just had it up. But it basically is how they're paying influencers and they're trying to figure out how to utilize the internet and, deliver
I think
messaging
they
like
are
you
late
do.
in the game. I think people got to understand is Republicans have been using people with a microphone for years to just disseminate misinformation. So it's not even like that's not a tool that shouldn't be used because we do have to have some opposition. They haven't tried to buy me. No, I only talk to people I want to talk to.
Now, before we get into that, okay, the whole, and this is something that the Republicans do a lot. This is something that they do. The Democrats rather, the Democrats do this all the time. Well, you know what? The Republicans do it all the time. Everything that they do, it's always, well, the Republicans do it, or the Republicans did it first, or nobody says anything when the Republicans do it. It's all of that. It's always that. The Republicans do it. Is this with the Republicans? The thing is that Republicans don't do that with the Democrats. They just do stuff. They don't say, well, the Democrats did it first. Y'all didn't say anything with the Democrats, but the Democrats do that all the time. And the truth of the matter is that the Democrats have been doing that. The Democrats haven't just started doing that. The Democrats have been paying shills. They've been paying news outlets. They've been paying quote unquote influencers. Even before people referred to them as influencers, they were already paying quote unquote influencers and organizations. They've always been in folks' pockets. So this isn't anything new that the Democrats are like, you know what, the Republicans keep doing this, and it's about time we started countering and giving the same type of energy back. They've been on that. All right. Now, listen to what she says next.
To have some opposition. They haven't tried to buy me. No, I only talk to people I want to talk to. Like, there's no amount of money, there's no check that just would make me want to like jump on the bandwagon, especially because I have critiques. I got to be able to say whatever I want to say. Right. And the Democratic Party definitely got some things that need to be worked on. I had the honor of working with some good people in the CBC. And that's the other thing, like, we live in America. There's no institution that's got it right or has always had it right from jump. So I don't sit here and act like
now, she said she's worked with the CBC, Congressional Black Caucus, but she says the Democrats aren't paying her. Okay, I want y'all to listen to that. They're not paying her.
I have to agree with something a body has done since its conception. But if I'm working with people who I understand are genuine in their efforts, like, I'm down with that. Because like I said, I'm trying to be solution oriented and do no harm in as much as I can.
Okay. The Democrats aren't paying her. She said they're not paying her. All right, then. Well, so she's not on the take. And this is what the influencers do all of the time with the whole, well, I got critiques and I got to say what I want to say and I can't do that if I'm a part of you guys' party. So I'm not going to be on it. They always say that. That they're not a part of the party. They're not on the take. That's what they have to say so they can keep some type of legitimacy in the eyes of the public. Because if they come out and saying, yeah, the Democrats are paying me, yeah, they're flying me out here to do this interview, yeah, they're funding my organization, if they say anything of the sort, then they're going to lose credibility. They're going to lose legitimacy. So they have to seem as if they're grassroots and they are not being paid, but they are, okay? Because she's saying that she's not working with the Democrats. Now, I want you guys to think, or know rather, that this interview I just played for you guys was 5 months ago. That's the interview. This was 5 months ago. Now, this was her a couple years ago.
It's Saturday, so I'm gonna keep it black.
But I'm gonna keep it brief.
I'm sorry. What?
Well, hi, Lene. How are you?
Madam Vice President, what are you doing in my parking lot?
Well, this is actually an undisclosed location, but I am here to talk with you.
Right. Secret Service. Well, I'm here to talk about gun violence. Again.
Let's get into it.
Last Wednesday in Atlanta, Georgia, 24-year-old Dion Patterson walked into the waiting room of Northside Medical Center around lunchtime and opened fire with a semi-automatic handgun, killing one woman and wounding 4 others. And I'd really love to talk about something else. I really would. But this shooting actually happened just 2 blocks away from me while my man was outside walking the dog. And it seems like more and more communities are going to have to be touched by gun violence for the call to action to be loud enough for some type of meaningful legislation to happen. Inquiring minds want to know, why doesn't there seem to be any talk of an executive order?
Well, actually, the president signed an executive order in March.
What? That wasn't in my notes.
Yes, and that's not all. President Biden and I believe that all people in all communities deserve to be safe, and that is why President Biden signed the most significant gun reform legislation in nearly 30 years. And then he took executive action. President Biden signed an executive order that strengthens background checks, keeps guns out of dangerous hands, and cracks down on gun dealers who break the law. These are important steps, but there is so much more to do.
So you two have done what's in your power, and now we're waiting on Congress?
Exactly. Congress must have the courage to act and keep Americans safe.
Thank you for the clarification. And it's interesting, seeing as some members of Congress seem to be currently occupied with bills about CRT, anti-trans legislation, anti-abortion legislation, and now attempts to mandate that the Ten Commandments be displayed in K-12 classrooms. But I digress. Ooh, now the...
Okay, y'all see that? That was in May in 2023. Oh yeah, I do my due diligence, y'all. Y'all know I do my homework. That's why y'all here, because we make sure we get the job done. We make sure for a fact that we dot our I's, cross our T's, make sure we dig into everybody's background. And if I find something, I'm gonna let y'all know 100%. Y'all already know that. Okay, this was her before. Now, some people might make the argument, well, Afro, that was years ago. Maybe she was working with them before, but then she left the party because she doesn't agree with where they were taking certain things. That was in 2023. You played a clip from some months ago. That's not the same thing. Okay, all right, cool. Okay. Well, maybe I did misjudge her. Maybe we shouldn't jump to conclusions. Let me play you something that happened a couple weeks, not months, weeks ago. This was after the Breakfast Club interview where she said she wasn't on a take for the Democratic Party.
Bloomer and whatever crazy... Are we cussing?
Hold on, is that her? Is that her and Kamala in the same place again a couple weeks ago? And you can tell it was recent because that you see the book that Kamala is on her book tour for. You see that.
Bloomer and whatever crazy... Are we cussing? You seem to be cussing.
Okay, I'm gonna fast forward because I don't even want no music
done
to
that
pop up
before.
or nothing.
Oh, they're not ready for you. The one I love, oh, it'll be a lot of hard work. And don't you listen. And have ambition. Don't let the world or any situation knock that out of you. It is good to have ambition. It is good to have ambition.
Okay. We're going to have to talk about everybody's favorite Indian lady, Kamala Harris. We're going to have to talk about her soon because Kamala Scamala, the chameleon, is trying to make a little run for 2028. She's testing the waters a little bit, but we're going to talk about that in due time, y'all. We're going to talk about that in due time. But right now, we're on the agents right now. But we will talk about that in due time. Y'all just make sure y'all hit that subscribe button so we can have a lot of people in there when we do talk about that. So I'm letting you guys know we're doing the background on Lene Vinny. We're doing the background on her because all of these people are a part of the same Democratic organization, the same DNC shills, DNC think pieces, and all of that stuff. Okay, let me show you guys something else. I've been doing my research, y'all. I've been doing my homework, and I want to show you guys what I got. I ain't been doing all this homework to not show the teachers, to not show the people. I've been doing this to show y'all. This is another thing. This happened years ago. Okay, she's been on this page.
Topic is really about a lot of people's comments on Black women's bodies and what they're doing with them and what they're choosing not to do with them. We're going to get into a little bit of sexuality. We're also going to get into a little bit of politics, but what else is new? So without further ado, please welcome my special guest, Mr. George, the Conscious Lead. Thank you for coming. So glad to finally sit down.
Oh, there y'all go. It's Lily. Lily is in the building. She's plugged up with Lily. Okay. And I'm letting you guys know all of these people work in the same group. They're all a part of the same think tank. They're all a part of the same thing. None of these people are different. All of these people already know. This was all the way back in 2020, y'all. She's been on the take. But I want y'all to listen to what they have to say.
this. The people like it, and I thought of you when I was looking at last week's comments. So I'm going to actually bring you an old comment because I know you're going to have the perspective that people want to hear. I talked about it briefly last episode, but we wanted to get your input about the whole Tiana Taylor Normani and come to its defense because it was sexy, because they love what they were seeing on the screen. But these are the same people that have so much to say, so much hate to spew, so many contradictory statements when it comes to what Lil Nas X is doing. And I could talk a lot about Lil Nas X. He's a little bit younger, so his methods may not be mine all the time, but I absolutely love the messages that he brings and the things that he's doing for his community. So TS posted about it, and I like.
She loves Lil Nas X, the things that he brings and the things that he's doing for the community. That's what she said. She loves the quote unquote things that Lil Nas X is doing for his community. Okay. I'll play a little bit more of that. And I want you guys to know this was after the whole viral thing of him giving the devil a lap dance and him twerking on the devil in hell. And that's what she's talking about. Oh, he might do things a little bit different from me, but I love what he brings to the community. Okay. All right. And what are those things besides Satan's shoes with blood in it? Like what is he bringing to the community besides an agenda? Okay, but okay, let's continue.
Says, are y'all really this ignorant? My point has been proven all day. Double standards and homophobia towards men. And then some people come and respond underneath what she has to say about this. And so this woman, Queenin100, she says, women are smarter than men. Girls are smarter than boys. A young girl will see this and may not think twice. She'll grow up and a man will still find her and love her. A boy seeing two men too early will confuse their simple little minds. Then they grow up not knowing what the fuck they want or who.
Man.
So what do we think? I mean, I think off top at base, this woman is basically calling men incapable of having autonomy over their bodies or incapable of making conscious decisions of what they want to do with their bodies. And so it's already a slight there. There might be people who agree with her, but they may not realize how they're actually like shading men's capacity to do these things. But just what do you think about her overall sentiment about girls being smarter than boys and being able to take in this type of imagery without it affecting just their sexuality?
I think that I can agree with the sentiment that girls are smarter than boys, women are smarter than men. Because R. Kelly just got convicted, I'm thinking of the correlation of how a lot of the people that talk about separating the art from the music and they still gonna step in the name of love, or a lot of the people that have this very critical analysis or very crazy criticisms about Lil Nas X and things like that. So I'm kind of thinking of right now, on top of the head, it's like, hold on. So you can listen to a pedophile that'll make you a pedophile, but your kids listening to somebody gay makes them gay. So how I'm thinking about it is, on the surface level, I can see it as a contradiction, you feel me, as seeing that you are fantasizing about these two women bodies, and because you see women as not being, you feel me, threatful, you can just fantasize and really just wallow in it, you feel me? Huey P. Newton actually had...
Now, before we continue, I guess that was around the time when R. Kelly got convicted of you know, what they convicted him for. I'm going to say this. Listening to somebody gay doesn't make you gay. That's a disingenuous simplification of what people had an issue with. And the thing is that they can't really defend Lil Nas X, so they kind of really disingenuously simplify and they create this straw man argument. Oh, y'all just don't like Lil Nas X because he was gay. Well, no, I think him twerking on the devil after going and signing a bunch of kids' books, I think that that's the reason why people had an issue. I think that was the issue. Like, how you gonna market yourself to kids and then be giving the devil a lap dance and then remember in the video he got pregnant by the devil too? Like, I think that those two things should be kept separately. Sounds homophobic to me. I don't know. Y'all just don't like him because he's gay. That's a straw man argument to deflect from the real reason why anybody had any criticism about Lil Nas X. All right. Let's continue.
A little speech like in the early 1970s. It was about gay liberation and women's liberation. He said something very specific, talking to dudes specifically about homosexuality when it comes to men. And he said something that was real, like, hey, it might have been before his time, but he admitted that he likes and desires homosexuality from women. And then he posed a whole bunch of rhetorical questions about fear, about paranoia.
First off, I don't recall Huey P. Newton ever saying that he likes gay women, is what he's saying right here. I don't recall that at all. And he's never shown any receipts of that. Consciously, he's never brought up any receipts of that, but he goes in hard and make sure he's defending the rainbow community. He makes sure he does that, even if that means lying on people. Even if that means that, he'll do it. He'll do it. Believe me.
And about the confines of masculinity. I think how you asking the question, it showed me that it's other people that also internalize these confines of masculinity that make it where if you see a man performing any type of way outside of straightness, now his manhood is called into question. It's like, I feel like we all, like, even if you don't watch Insecure, if you're on the internet, you've heard about, you feel me, the controversies in these characters in terms of masculinity, and it's like, I like him, but he told me he had a gay experience, so I don't know what I'm saying.
Part of
Okay,
this week.
so they I want y'all to know, these are the people we're dealing with. These are the people that we are dealing with. They're sitting up there talking about, you know, the confines of masculinity shouldn't be confined to being straight. So you can be just as masculine even if you're not straight, and masculinity is all of this stuff. And this is the agenda that the DNC wants them to push, that they are pushing. You see her, you know, being a woman doesn't mean that you have a uterus and you can have a baby and be a man. You saw Lene say that. So you already see what they're saying. And they've been clicked up for a while. They've been clicked up for a good minute. Her, Lene, Consciously, Deontay, all of them. Hold on. Let me pull this clip up for you guys. They've been clicked in for a good minute. Now, remember, we did a thing where we discussed, this was maybe a month ago, where we discussed that there was dark money organizations from the Democratic Party that funds like side organizations, or dark money donators rather, that fund organizations for the DNC, because the DNC don't want to give the money directly because they've been exposed too many times. So the dark money funds them so they can peddle and promote DNC talking points and DNC agenda that goes against Black America. That's what they've been doing. All of them are on the take. I want you guys to see this. Oh yeah, we got our homework done today. We got our homework done. This lady, she was on a live stream, like a podcast with Angela Rye when that got leaked, and I did a live stream about that too. And she was talking about, I don't work for no Democrats. I'm not a part of that. I don't even know what people talking for. We not getting paid. And I want you guys, and I did it like this so you guys can see. Look at who's in the comments. This is a screenshot on Instagram. Look at who's in the comments. Is that Jasmine? Oh, okay. Jasmine Crockett. Okay. All right. Okay. Look. Okay. You see her. You see Conscious Lee. You see, I'm not sure who these people are, but they all are part of the same thing. You see Deontay. All right. And then you see Lene. You see them. Now, I had to mute it because there's music in the background and I don't want to get a copyright strike. But you see all of them. And I'm telling you right now, all of them are a part of the same group. All of them are a part of the same organization, part of the same think tank from the DNC. And none of them will admit that. None of them will admit that. And then when it gets leaked that there was dark money, they'd be all like, well, I didn't get paid. I'm not doing this for no money. Can somebody show me the receipts? They were all playing dumb and all playing like there was no dark money anywhere. Okay, we over here, we got to fight uphill battles with shadow bans and all of that. There's no DNC organization or no big donors or anything, millionaires who are trying to promote an agenda that fund us here. This is 100% grassroots through and through from start to finish, and it's going to stay that way. Unlike them, they're all on the take. But I wanted you guys to get Roland Martin. He's another one. He was claiming that he's not paid, wound out he was paid, then he wound up explaining. But I wanted you guys to get a good look at Lene. So that leads us to the interview that Lene and that Deontay Kyle did. So we're going to play that. But I just need you guys to do it, get a good background of that, because I don't want anybody to be confused. We got to do our due diligence, y'all. The movement is very serious. So I'm going to play that right now.
When we was doing our late night show, the topic of the conversation is it FBA or CIA? That's my question, right?
I'm sorry. You're going to have to walk some things back for me. There's some things
Now he says, now this came after his whole thing with Mauna Leo.
Okay.
When we was doing our late night show, the topic of the conversation is it FBA or CIA? That's my question, right?
I'm sorry. You're going to have to walk some things back for me. There's some things I've seen proliferate on the internet that I just ignore because I can tell by the people having a conversation. This don't got nothing to do with me.
Type shit.
So FBA, I understand to be foundational Black American.
Correct.
What does that mean?
Basically that you are the descendant.
Okay. FBA, I understand that to be foundational Black American. What does that mean? First off, that's a setup. That's a complete setup. Because if he says FBA and you say foundational Black American, he didn't say foundational Black American. There's other acronyms that are FBA. But if he's saying FBA and you say, oh yeah, I know that means foundational Black American, then you already are familiar with the term FBA. You're familiar with that. So why are you then asking him to define FBA? Because you clearly stated you're familiar. He didn't say foundational Black American. He said FBA. You said foundational Black American. I'm telling you, this is sloppy. This is sloppy. And they'd be all like, foundational Black American. What does that mean? You clearly know what it means. Why are you asking him? She's asking him so he can create some distorted definition of it. And let me say this before we continue. Foundational Black American has to be one of the most self-explanatory terms I could possibly think of. Foundational Black American. That literally is like somebody being all like, water bottle. I know what water bottle. Can you explain what a water bottle is? Can you break that down for me? And then somebody's like, okay, well, it's a bottle, and people put water in the bottle. Okay, so then it becomes a bottle full of water. So it's a water bottle. Oh, okay, yeah. Water bottle is kind of self-explanatory. Does anybody have to explain to you what a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is? You understand that it's a sandwich with peanut butter and jelly. What is a foundational Black American? People who are foundational and Black American. That is super self-explanatory. And if you can't figure it out by somebody saying foundational Black American, then you don't need to be having these conversations like that anyway. But she knew, and she said she didn't know, so she can throw a lob to Deontay so he can give a distorted version of it. Okay. All of these people, and I'm saying this to let you guys know, when people sit up there and act confused, they all know. They all know. What is FBA? I don't know what that is. They all know. They all know. But let's continue.
Enslaved people in America.
We had to put a name on that? I thought we had it. It wasn't Black.
Basically that you are the descendant of enslaved people in America.
We had to put a name on that? I thought we had it. It wasn't Black American?
No, because then it's a thing of, well, so this is the tether thing.
Okay.
This is the Tariq Nasheed tether mentality. Tariq Nasheed.
Okay. Now because then he starts dissing Tariq again. Now, before we get into that, we have to put a name on that. I thought we already had a Black American. No. We need something more specific than Black American. We do. We are Black American, but we also need something more specific, especially when we go for reparations. We're going to need something because you're going to have people who are Black by race and American by nationality, but their lineage isn't from here. And then they're going to start coming up and being all like, hey, I'm a Black American too, guys. I am Black, you know, and I am an American, so I am a Black American. And that's the same thing they're doing with African American. All of these terms that we've used in the past, hell, people of color, we used people of color in the past, and you see how that term got co-opted. Minority, all of these terms that are not solid and leak proof, you have other people who are tethering their way into these terms. So even though we are Black American, now we need something that is super specific that cannot be co-opted. So we have foundational Black American, because yeah, you may be Black, you may be American, but you are not foundational. And because you're not foundational, you cannot come into the claim of reparations and the claim of our lineage. And she's sitting up there acting dumb, like, I don't, do we need that? Do we need that? Now listen to what he has to say. Then he goes off on Tariq again.
America.
We had to put a name on that? I thought we had it. It wasn't Black American?
No, because then it's a thing of, well, so this is the tether thing.
Okay.
This is the Tariq Nasheed tether mentality. Tariq Nasheed is like, he's going to juice up that diaspora war.
Okay.
So if you have a Nigerian grandparent, if you have any relation to, if like anything immigrant status type vibe, like you're a tether. You're not really from America. You're not really a Black American. When the conversation.
No, and this is why I'm telling you guys, this is why she threw it to him. She threw him the question to define that, and she's playing dumb. She's not. I showed you guys clips. She's clicked in with Conscious Lee. She's talked to Kamala Harris. This is not her first or second. She's made multiple projects with Deontay before. So she already knows this. But she's sitting up there like, I thought we already had it. So what is FBA? Why do we need an FBA? She's doing that so he can then say, well, hold on, let me break it down for you. FBA means anybody who's an immigrant is a tether. That's the Tariq Nasheed mentality. That's why she threw it to him. Okay. And we don't say that everybody who's not from here, everybody outside of our lineage is a tether. We don't say that because we know that's not the truth. We got some solid riders outside of the community, outside of the lineage. We do, and we show them much love and much respect. Some of them are here now. I think one of the people who donated was Haitian. Okay, so we're not prejudiced against people just because they're not FBA. All right, but we have an issue with actual tethers, and I'm saying that. Let me circle back to Uncle Toby, Mona Leo's manager. All of this Akata this. I'm an Akata killer. I don't like the Akatas. I like white women, and I like this, and I can't stand no Akata. I'm talking about it was Akata. Now they're not gonna say anything about him. He's not the issue. But us calling people tethers, we're the problem. But you got folks sitting up there calling themselves, proclaiming openly to be an Akata killer, and they're not the issue. We're the issue for saying that they're a problem. That's where we are now. Because remember, according to Deontay, we need to take the higher road anyway. We need to accept that these people are problems. These people are destructive. But we need to just accept that we need to take the higher road regardless. Anyway, we just got to do that anyway. And no. And this is why he said that. And the whole thing of you can't be FBA if you have any immigrant lineage or whatever. No, listen. Lineage is not, I will repeat, is not something new. It's not a new concept. Lineage has been around. Everybody has it. Everybody has an ethnicity. Everybody has a tie to a certain lineage around the world. Only when we start acknowledging and recognizing our unique lineage here that's separate from everybody else's do people act as if lineage is some brand new concept that people just cannot wrap their head around. People understand what lineage is. You have to be tied to the lineage, point blank, period. That means that you have to have, at the very least, bare minimum, one full FBA parent. All right, to say that you have a tie and a link to the lineage. If you have a FBA grandparent and then the rest of your family is non-FBA, then your tie is too distant. You don't have a really strong connection. Your tie is distant. All right. But if you have an FBA parent, you do have a tie. Now you're half FBA, but we accept the half FBAs as well too. Malcolm X was half FBA, and we don't disrespect Malcolm, but we understand that his mother was an FBA. Frederick Douglass was half FBA, and Frederick Douglass is still FBA. His mother was FBA, but his father was a slave owner. All right. His father was white. I was about to say white tea. I'm still in my TikTok mentality. All right. They're still FBA. So it's not about you have to be some pure blood with 100%. No, We understand that we've been here for a while, and there is a little bit of a mixture in a lot of our people. But the thing is that we're not going to pretend that that strips us from the tie to the lineage. The tie to the lineage is the biggest thing. All right. That's what we got to recognize. So if you have a strong enough tie to the lineage, you are a part of the lineage. And that goes the same way with every other lineage, every other group of people. The whole, well, we just don't like anybody because we just don't like anybody if they're not FBA. That's the biggest lie told. That's the biggest lie told. It's them coming to America, not liking us. It's them immigrating to America, calling us a tether, claiming to be Akata killers, not calling us a tether, Akatas, calling us Akata, claiming to be Akata killers, claiming to want to distance themselves from the Akata, claiming to be white or to want to aspire to be white or next to white people over the quote unquote Akata. It is them who is doing that. All right? Keep that in mind. Let me actually get to some of the super chats before we get too far along. I appreciate y'all so very much. Let's get to this one. Okay. Again, the truth holds hostage, or hold the truth hostage says tethers hate FBA as a standard because it erases you can't install tethers into FBA to betray. That's true. They hate our standard. That's true. Think about history. How many FBA traders were tethers? Let's be honest, we really got to do a lot of due diligence on that stuff. Okay. For decades, he continues to say, for decades, they used tethers to make FBA mascot for the rainbow community. A lot of the agendas that they push that through tethers. That's true. That is true. Okay. And then Dakota's Jenkins says, FBA have no friends or allies. We're on our own. We got it, brother. And that's, thank you. We got it. Shout out to the super sticker from Zay, from Zay. I'm gonna say Zay. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce the whole thing. And then Josh says Deontay Kyle is a failed rapper from their late 2000s turned podcaster. Oh, that explains a lot. That explains a lot. It really does. It really does. Now, as we're taking this brief moment to pause, what I would encourage you guys to do is hitting that thumbs up button. Very important. Hitting that like button. Very important. All right. Make sure you guys leave a comment too, because the chat room was very helpful. Y'all live in the chat room tonight. But let's go back to it. Let's go back.
That I've been having a lot more recently is like, I'm not finna beef with a nigga about one difference, and that difference being place of birth. Because the cultures are so like parallel.
Oh, it's Vang. Okay, got it, Vang.
Also, and what I'm about to say might be unserious, but like, you don't like to eat good?
That's what I'm saying, girl. I literally talk about cuisine all the time.
That's what I'm saying. And I mean, you're not just good for food, but like being around, like I was very close with this girl from Sierra Leone when I graduated college, and she had me over to her spot for her graduation party. Just got like immersed in the culture quite literally, because I'm now enlisted in help getting ready for the party that I was told would start at 4:00. Mind you, I'm dressed at 3, dressed to go clean food and like set up stuff, because the party starts at 4, meaning that's when people come set up. The party don't pop off until later, but trying all kinds of new foods and learning new dances and hearing them speak whatever it is native to them. It's just a beautiful experience, and like it compounds on hours. Like I wrote this piece a minute ago, and it was called In Every Universe, and it was just me talking about my Black experience. Like I'm from the South. I'd be Southern in every universe if I could, but I love making rice and peas. I taught myself how to cook curry. Like I'm 25% Yoruba. I love that shit. My last name is French, but I'm not Haitian. But just like talking about how foundational Black Americans, like we're not what's the word, exempt from white influence. We're not exempt from the influence of other people who are a part of the diaspora. And why wouldn't you want that to enrich your experience?
Well, I think that there's this thing.
First off, no, we're not gonna do that. No, not gonna do that. That's not what we're going to do. The whole, well, don't you like good food and don't you like them? Don't you like this? Listen, this isn't to even say the whole thing about they don't have any good culture. First off, we're not the ones, foundational Black Americans. Actually, let me get this off the screen because I really got to cook with this one. foundational Black Americans, we're not the ones who go around talking about other people don't have culture. That's not been us. That's been everybody else who've come here and benefited from our culture and then claim that we don't have a culture. We're the ones who actually accepted and respected other people's culture. We've shown more than enough respect to everybody else's culture. They're the ones who come over here and talk about how we don't got no culture. So then when you be all like, well, what about the cooking and what about this? No, we're talking about some grown-up stuff right now. Not that little kitty stuff. We're talking about culture. We're talking about progress. We're talking about history, heritage, community. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about jerk chicken versus jollof versus fried chicken versus cornbread versus collard greens. We're not talking about that. Okay? We're talking about actual heritage, actual lineage, actual culture. Do they have good food? Yep, they have good food. There's some good food all around the world. Follow me, y'all. This is how ridiculous they have to stretch to make a point. Everywhere you go in the world, you're going to find some good food, and a lot of places, maybe not every place, but a lot of places. What does that matter? What does it matter? Let's say their food is delicious, absolutely great, fantastic, marvelous. So what? What does it matter? They should get reparations because they make jerk chicken? They should get reparations because they make oxtails? What? We're not the same culture because we might like their food. Look, there's a lot of foundational Black Americans who like pizza. We're not Italian. There's a lot of foundational Black Americans who like spaghetti. We're not Italian. Come on. What are we doing? It's a whole bunch of foundational Black Americans. We be eating broccoli and beef and broccoli or whatever. That don't make us Korean if it comes from Korea. I'm not sure exactly. Or noodles. That don't make us Japanese. Yeah, we be eating tacos. We not Mexican. So what does that mean? Okay, we be eating burgers and hot dogs and stuff. That don't mean we European. What does that mean? You can't connect us by saying, don't y'all like some of their food too? No, this is bigger than that. And this is how desperate they are to connect us by being like, shouldn't we all embrace each other? And shouldn't we all just get along? And shouldn't we all think about the good and think about, no, we should not. No, we shouldn't, because that's been the problem the whole time, is that we've overlooked the bad and we've let the bad compound into the damn huge monster that it is today. We've overlooked all of the negatives and we've let the bad turn into this. Now we got the Akata killers coming over here talking about how we need to be Pan-African and not xenophobic. Okay, now we got folks over here talking about their Akata killers. Don't get me started on they go in, not just him. You got Myron Gaines, you got a whole bunch of them. And we need to talk about how we like jerk chicken, so we should leave it alone. We should let it go because we like oxtails. Look, no. No. And this is their argument. This is their argument. It's a pathetic argument. It's an absolutely pathetic argument.
About like, how do you respond to the criticism of Black Americans not having culture? And it for whatever reason, it lands there. But also too, I'm not big on responding to shit I know is not true.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Why are you not responding to it, Deontay? He's like, yeah, how do you respond to it? But I'm not big on responding to something that I know is not true. No, you see how they scapegoat and they give them a little slap on the wrist pass like, that's just some silly talk and we're not gonna get into, we know that's not true. We don't even need to get into that. We not even need to say it. No, you're giving them a pass to be destructive. You're giving them a pass to be disrespectful. You're giving them a pass to erase our culture. This is what you're doing. It's not, it's just not true. Because when the dominant society says that Black people are violent, you say something about that, and we know that's not true. you get on the lies from other people that you know isn't true. So why, when it comes to lies from tethers, do you say, well, it's not true, so I'm gonna ignore it? That's not how you fix problems.
So it's like, okay, we don't have a culture. Okay, nigga. Okay.
It's silly to me.
And no, it's not just okay. That's the thing. It's not just a okay, nigga. Okay. No, it should, and I want us all to understand it is not no okay. Well, man, all right. Okay, well, fine. No, it's not fine. It is absolutely not fine. And I want you guys to understand that. And I want you guys not to be ashamed in saying it is absolutely not okay when they say we don't have a culture. That's not okay. That's not fine. That's not something that we should turn the other cheek about. That's not something that we should ignore. Because when they say that socializes a community and an environment to then start to erase our culture, which is what they tried to do with the Essence Festival earlier this year. By saying that we don't have a culture, that's saying essentially that anything we do have is universal and up for everybody. So that means that they can come there, they can claim it, they can customize it. That is a part of colonization. That's what they did. That's saying that we're a people without a culture. We're pretty much just beings here. We're not really people. That's dehumanizing. That's stripping us away from our peoplehood, which is what colonizers do. They come there and say, well, these people are just kind of primitive. By you saying that people don't have a culture, that is the equivalent of saying that people are primitive. These people just eat and sleep. These people are not really cultured, not like us, because they don't say that about the Caribbean. They don't. They don't say that about Africa. They don't. But they will come here and say that about foundational Black Americans, and we're supposed to be like, well, I mean, it's just not the truth. I'm just gonna let it go. I'm just gonna ignore that right there, dude. It's not. No. That is saying that we're primitive people, and then what we own belongs to them, and I'm not letting that happen. Deontay is, because he's a paid shill who works for the damn establishment. Him and old girl.
It's goofy. It's just a thing to say. Okay. And I think that...
But I think they also don't know. Like...
And they say, oh, it's just a thing to say. Well, why don't you say that about tethers? When we say tethers, you make a big fuss about us calling folk tethers. And then you say, well, when they say we don't have a culture, oh, what? Well, that's just a thing to say, it's just something funny. It's just something a little bit silly now, and we shouldn't even really pay that much attention to it. It's just a thing to say. Now, when we say, hey, they need to go back to their homeland, and you can't be xenophobic now. That sounds some xenophobic stuff. We can't be doing that. That's nonsense. We can't be saying that now. That's bad. Well, foundational Black, they be, you FBAs, you don't have a culture. What is your culture? You don't have one. Or you do as crime and you do other things. Okay, when they come over here, you do crime and you do other things. You don't have a culture. You're not sophisticated. You don't have any education. You don't have these things that we have back at home, back in Nigeria. We have all these things and we're so sophisticated. We're education. Where's your education? Where's your father? Where's your mother at? Nigga, you're Akata. You don't know anything. You don't do anything. You belong to the white man. And then Deontay's like, well, just talk and just let him talk. It's not true. Just ignore it and it's okay. And as long as we're not xenophobic to them, as long as we take the high road and it's okay. We're just gonna take the high road and let it be. They sound so silly, and just let them talk their little silly nonsense, and we're just gonna keep pushing, but we gotta make sure we support them because we don't want to be xenophobic now. Okay. And then he's like, yes, sir. Don't you see what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about. This Pan-Africanism. This is what I'm saying. We are all from Africa, brother. Don't you like my food too? You like that, you a kata boy. Like, yes, indeed. Okay, but let's get back to the interview.
What TikTok revealed to me, at least from what some of the across the pond Negroes had to say, Y'all literally are just not educated on what Black Americans have gone through, experience, or how we contribute to American culture. Some of them are quite literally just ignorant. Now, all of them, I doubt. If you've never been over here.
So to me, it's like, I don't got nothing to prove to you niggas.
And then the talking point of, well, some of them are just ignorant. Some of them are just ignorant. Man, no. And we need to stop giving them that pass. We need to stop giving them that pass, because when we've tried to claim our culture, they were on the front line saying that that isn't our culture. They do that with soul food now. They be all like, no, you cannot claim that soul food. You cannot claim that, because back in Africa, we have a thing that's the same. We have that thing that's so the same, because you guys have collard greens. We have collard greens back at home. You cannot claim that. That is from Africa, nigga. You cannot claim that. You have no culture. All of your culture comes from Africa. That is what they say. That is what they say. So they're not ignorant. They are deliberately trying to ignore us and our claims of our cultural value so they can co-opt it. When we say hip hop, they be all like, no, you did not do no hip hop. We have beats. Back at home. We be we be beating back at home. You got that from me. You got that from me. You got that from my tribe. You did not come up with that by yourself. That's what they do. Everything we do, everything we claim, and everything like that. Then, you know, when we say we did country music, like, no. You did not know doing country music. We were riding back in the jungle. We were riding on the elephant, and we were riding on the things. We were riding on all of the wild cats and the wild dogs and the wild the lions and things. We were riding on all of those things before you started riding on your horse. You are riding on your horse now. You are riding on your horse, but you got that from riding on elephants. We were riding on elephants before. We came up with that stuff, nigga. You cannot claim what we have done. We have done that stuff. We are Beyonce. We are the one who did that. Beyonce is African, nigga. Okay, that's what they've been doing. So it's not them being ignorant. They are deliberately trying to steal our stuff. They're stealing that stuff. And how you know they're not ignorant? Because they don't say that same thing about the Caribbean. They don't say that about the Caribbean. They leave the Caribbean alone to their own devices. They never try to make the claim that the Caribbean don't have culture. They never try to make the claim that Caribbeans don't know where they come from. It's only us, that we don't have culture. We don't know where we come from. All of these tropes that they say about us, they don't say that about the Caribbean. We're the only people that they call Akata. So it's not them being ignorant. They know what they're doing.
Know what we over here doing, and it's like, I don't know nothing about what y'all got going on over there neither. Correct. So it's like, and I would never land on like culture for one, and then I would never land on like, you don't know where you from for two, because it's like, nigga, all of us got colonized. We quite literally arguing in English. So I don't really got time for that back and forth shit about the difference being birthplace. But you can see the parallels in cuisine. You can see the parallels in dance and music. You can see the parallels in just how we relate to one another. There's a parallel history, because colonization is a playbook. So they kind of treat everybody the same way everywhere they go. They kind of run the same plays. And I don't really...
No, and we need to stop doing that too, because that's also a part of cultural erasure. There is, we can say that, there's colonization to a degree, but all of our colonization is not the same. And we need to stop acting like it is. We need to stop acting like all of our suffering. And I'm not the person, you guys already know, I'm not the person who's going to dismiss the suffering of any group of people. But that does not mean that the suffering that they went through and our suffering is the same. They keep trying to make it seem like, well, all suffering's kind of bad, sir. I mean, I mean, it's just the same. No, it's not the same. It's not, because them being colonized and us being enslaved are not the same thing. They're both bad, yes, but you cannot say that somebody being colonized and having their resources taken from their land, and then somebody having slave babies and breeding farms and babies being fed to alligators are the equivalent, because they're not.
Be having time to get into it with niggas about stupid shit, and I also like am not gonna educate a willfully ignorant person. So, but the thing is like it's FBA, then it's ADOS. The ADOS is African descendants of slaves, and then it's or American descendants of slaves, and then now it's a Solon. This come to find out the Solon niggas is a little xenophobic too. It's a lot going on with that shit. I'm just
Okay, and first off, and then shout out to my brothers Mark and Midnight. I don't know if they're watching, but they're the ones who came up with Salon. I actually met them at the rally. All right, shout out to them, and they've been stepping up, and they've been saying that, hey, you don't use the word Solon. We came up with the word Solon. You trying to use that word because you think that people don't know what that means. We are in alignment with foundational Black Americans. It's Solon and FBA are the same. It's not no different thing. All right, and they're also aligned with the way we need to operate as far as Pan-Africanism. They're the ones, they've made articles talking about Pan-Africanism is vampirism. So they've been calling out Pan-Africanism. So it's not no difference between the Solon and FBA thing. Deontay used Solon because he thought that not because he didn't know what it meant, but he used Solon because he felt like enough people didn't know what it meant. And he felt like he could use that because it seems grassroots, but it's not connected to FBA. So the creators of the term Solon, they had to come out and they had to clear all that stuff up. Now he's saying that Solon is xenophobic too.
Like, bruh, nigga, hit the Dougie real quick. Let me see what your Dougie look like real quick. You know what I'm saying? Because you go to Milwaukee. You see how Milwaukee niggas dance?
No.
They dance just like Eritreans.
Wow.
It's like quite literally the same. It's that shoulder shit. They be killing that shit. The Ethiopian, same thing. It'd be like, it's so many parallels that you could find through.
What? What does that mean? And I'm gonna be very honest with you. I'm gonna be abundantly clear. A lot. Should I go there? Should I go there, chat? Should I go there, chat? Should I go there? Should I want y'all to let me know if I should go. I think I should go there. I'm gonna go there. Let me go there. A lot of their dances that they have in Africa, they have some tribal dances, but a lot of their dances, they actually are starting to get from us. We got videos, they go live on TikTok and they be doing videos and impersonations of Michael Jackson. They be doing dances like Michael Jackson, who was foundational Black American. The moonwalk didn't come out of Africa. Folks wasn't doing the moonwalk before we started doing the moonwalk here. Folks wasn't doing the dab and all of this stuff. A lot of they dances, if he's saying Milwaukee doing the shoulder thing, I don't even know what he did, whatever the shoulder thing is. They probably got that from us. Because a lot of the dances I see over there that they're starting to do, they're copying what we're doing. Even the dancing on the floor, like, you know how the DJs be doing where they have like a cardboard on the floor and they be spinning on their heads, like doing the disco stuff. That stuff that we started doing before when we created hip hop, they started doing that. They started dancing like Michael Jackson and doing the moonwalk, and they started dancing like Chris Brown and Usher, and they started dabbing up and doing all of that stuff. A lot of the dances that they do now that are pop breakdancing, thank you, breakdancing, crip walking, all of these things. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word breakdancing. Okay, all of these things that they are doing now, they got that from us. There's a couple of tribal dances that they do, but most of the tribal dances that they do, that you see them doing now, they're like, they do those on like holidays or special occasions, like a wedding or something of the sort. That's when you see them doing a lot of their tribal dances, and when they're wearing their like tribal attire and things of the sort, and they start doing their tribal dances and stuff. That's really on like holidays for real. But on a regular day, they be dancing like us because they see what we do and we are cool. And they are like, okay, I want to be on that type of time. I want to be doing what they doing. So I'm going to start dancing like them. I'm going to start doing the Dougie and all of this. I'm going to start stepping and I'm going to start line dancing. Have you guys seen the videos of Africans in Africa? Kids, y'all, children, line dancing. It didn't come from them, it came from us. So if you're saying there's a parallel, the parallel probably came from us. We're probably being copied. Real talk. We're probably the ones being copied if we're going to go there.
Throughout cultures where it's just like, okay, like there's at least a synergy here.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck we arguing for. Because like when I had the jam pod on here, I was like, if you go into a room right now and you got 25 Brazilians, 25 Haitians, 25 Nigerians, and 25 Americans, Black Americans, you ain't gonna know who.
I would challenge that. I don't know about that. I would challenge that. I don't know. There might be a couple who can blend in, but especially when they start talking, yeah, you're gonna be able to tell. You might not be able to tell all of them. There might be a couple that might slip through the cracks, but come on now. The whole we can't tell who's who, stop doing that. Y'all gotta cut that out. And I'm not even saying this because we delineating now. We've been able to tell. We've been known. We've been known all of that stuff. Come on.
You're just not.
Mm-hmm.
So then, what the fuck we talking about? But I think also too, influence is a dangerous thing because like when Hidden Colors, the messengers started proliferating their own messages.
Mm-hmm.
Niggas started seeing that niggas was a little kooky. You know what I mean? Like we started really seeing Dr. Umar outside of like being like a powerful orator. He believed in some wacky shit. You know what I'm saying? Same thing to Tariq Nasheed. They believe in wacky shit.
Okay. Then he completely switches to a whole nother conversation. Completely switches to a whole nother conversation, right? But I want to break that down. Now he says Dr. Umar, he threw Dr. Umar there. And then he threw Tariq there. And then he says they believe in stuff wacky crap, right? Okay, what? Now he mentioned Tariq twice. He only mentioned Umar so he can mention Tariq again without seeming like he's obsessed with Tariq. But he really don't get no issue with Umar because he hasn't, or at least not in this live stream, because he keep bringing up Tariq. And he doesn't have an issue with Umar as far as the stance on Pan-Africanism, because Umar is a Pan-Africanist. So you can't say that at least Umar's stance on Pan-Africanism is what makes him quote unquote wacky. You can't say that because Umar is all on board on Pan-Africanism. Umar doesn't support delineation. So it's not that. You just brought up Umar so you wouldn't seem like a Tariq hater, but you are a Tariq hater because you keep bringing up Tariq unprovoked. Tariq is on something wacky. No, what you're saying doesn't make any sense. All of the DNC talking points and stuff, and this is why they're trying to focus on Tariq, to put a target on Tariq's back, because they're going to say that Tariq is the leader of FBA and that we get all of our thoughts, our talking points, our ideas from Tariq because we're in some cult. That's what they're going to say. That's ran and organized by Tariq. That's what they're going to, that's their playbook. That's the only thing that they have, family. That's the only thing that they have. That's the only thing that they can reach for. That's the only thing that they can say is that, well, you know, Tariq is the leader and Tariq's the one who put you guys up to that. No, we know for a fact that that's not the truth. We know for a fact that that's not the case. Deontay, all of y'all a bunch of Democrat shills and you've been exposed. All of you all have been exposed. That's the problem. And you guys are upset that we are on you now. That you don't have no influence over anybody. You tried to co-opt terms. You tried to co-opt the Black American Heritage flag, tried to co-opt the term Sulan, and we didn't let that slide. We didn't let that slide. Now you guys are trying to blame Tariq, but it's not Tariq even. We've been on you. Remember when we did the Horticulture special on Juneteenth, me and Zizi, we both said that, hey, Deontay and consciously, we was both getting on Deontay and consciously, a little bit more consciously because we knew more at the time, but we even gave the warning signs for Deontay then. This is before Tariq ever addressed Deontay, because Tariq didn't address Deontay until Deontay brought up Tariq. I've been on Deontay. I've been saying that, nah, that Deontay dude, I've been saying that on this channel and on For the Culture. Remember when he first went viral? Let me see if I can pull that clip up, actually, if I still have it. You guys know I keep receipts. Y'all know me. I keep the receipts loaded. So let me see if I actually have that. I think I do. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, no, it was on Twitter. I found that out. I found that on Twitter. Remember on Twitter, and I'm gonna pull this up just so I can let you guys know how thorough we are. on Twitter when he first went viral, I was all like, you know what? Nah, I'm not really rocking with this dude. Because he first went viral and he was talking about black men are like white women and all of that stuff. And that's what he was saying. Let me see when he first went viral for saying that. Where was that? Where was that? Hold on. Because if I don't have the receipt on my hard drive, I got the receipt on Twitter. The receipt's right here. I just got to pull it up. Okay. Remember this? Okay. Now you need to play. Okay. Come on. What is you? Why are you taking so long to pull up? Man, come on. Okay. Now it's acting all slow. Okay. There we go. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I was on it since then. Look at this.
You may not harass women. You may know how to take rejection. The majority of men that most women deal with do not.
Yeah.
And you are accountable for that as well. Because I don't got time to figure out which white people are nice, which white people aren't racist, or da-da-da-da-da. I have to go on the actions of the group.
Right.
The group as a whole and the history of that group as a whole tells me that they are a danger to me and they are not to be trusted.
Right.
And if you can understand that as a black man and your stand towards white people, then you should absolutely be able to understand women's stance towards you. You may not harass women. You may know how to take rejection. The majority of men that most women deal with do not.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is him saying that most black men don't know how to take rejection, which is essentially saying that we turn violent when we get rejected, and this is why women fear us. They have a right to fear black, and he's specifically talking about black men and how black men don't understand why black women view us the same way we view white women. All right. And I said that's agent activity. And I want you guys to understand this. This is a sign of an agent. This is a sign of a plant. OK, because when you are trying to advocate for a community, you don't divide it. That doesn't even make sense to advocate for a community and then try to create a separation within that community. These people are coming in claiming that they're advocating for specific segments of the community, but really what they're doing is dividing the community, because a community that is divided, a community that is not in alignment, is easier to control. So they'll come in and they'll be all like, well, you know, I really love black women, and I gotta say, black men, y'all are so bad. We are so bad, and we need to hold ourselves accountable for the way we do our sisters, and we are just like the white man, and we promote the patriarchy, and we promote misogyny and sexism. Or even when you're advocating for the LGBT, they be all like, man, black people, we gotta really work on our homophobia, man. And black people, we be so transphobic. They're trying to create separation and division in the community, because a community that is divided is easier for the DNC and the establishment to manipulate and control, and progress doesn't get done. That's what he is. That's what he is. And that's what he's doing. And this is why when he first said it, I was like, no, dude, nah, that's not it. And I don't even know when let me see when that went viral, because he went viral for that. Let me see around what time.
You may not.
That was in May. That was all the way back in May. We said it. And then we followed that up in June, on Juneteenth. And we was like, I don't know. And then now it's official. Now it's official. Okay. So, yep, that's why we gotta go ahead and do what we gotta do. Let me get to these super chats real quick. Let's get to Omar. Omar says FBA delineation got everybody shook. They do. Oh yeah. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. All of them, and I want to remind everybody, people who've come in late, they're all working for the same think tank. They're all a part of the same party, the same. Hold on. Let me get this off screen. All a part of the same agenda. All a part of the same think tank. All of them are on the take. All of them ask disingenuous questions consciously. Do you think that anybody in this group of people who's dancing doesn't know what FBA is? Do you think that, honestly? Do you think the only people who know who FBA is Conscious Lee and Deontay Kyle? Honestly. And all of the other people that they're all dancing with, they're clearly at some type of backstage event, or they're about to perform or something like that. They're all at some event and they all know each other well enough to do some video together like this. Do you think that all of them don't know what FBA is? They all know. And this is why they act dumb, because they feel like playing dumb is letting the people, or it kind of delegitimizes foundational Black Americans. And I want you guys to understand that going forward, because when we have the conversation going forward, anytime they play dumb, they feel as if that delegitimizes foundational Black American as a term and as a movement. They feel like they delegitimize the movement, because they are like, man, nobody's ever heard of this. This is only online. Nobody's like this in real life. I don't know a single FBA in real life, even though we've had rallies, expos, conventions. We're outside all of the time, going to reparations hearings, going to City Hall, interviewing politicians, doing stuff in the community all of the time. But they've never met a real FBA in real life. Let them tell it. We're not even going to buy that. We're not even going to go with that. But they're all on the take. They're all working for the same masters. Let me continue with the super chats. Yamiya says, Brother Malcolm X was half FBA, but was the most important person ever to FBAs. Brother Malcolm, let's just give a shout out to our beloved ancestor, Brother Malcolm X. I mean, let's come on now. And this is why we saying, like, there's no xenophobia here. We got half FBAs, but they be riding. They be riding and representing the community well. And that's all we ask for. We're not asking for too much. We're not asking anybody to be the next Malcolm X. We're not holding anybody to that expectation and to that standard. But the thing is, Malcolm X, if he did one thing, he did this, he proved it was possible. So nobody can say, y'all just don't like anybody who's not FBA. No, Malcolm proved, or at least being half FBA, Malcolm proved that being half FBA don't make you a shucking, jiving Sambo coon. Malcolm proved that himself. So we know it can be done. So this is why we're saying it's not acceptable for y'all to do it. Let's continue, though. Let's continue. Let's get to Melrose. My brother Melrose says, peace, family. Great show. These are crazy receipts. Oh, yeah. I've been doing my homework, brother. I've been doing my homework. All last night, I was sitting up there doing this. I'm like, okay. I got my homework today. Okay. Lang, he sends another super sticker. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Get to Flint Water. Flint Water says, so many of these outsiders know FBA set trends worldwide and now wanting on the delineation movement. Really, they want to stop our movement. They do. They want to stop the movement. We're globally recognized I don't know why I can say that. Worldwide. We're globally recognized, okay, and respected and copied and imitated. And it's been that way since they've been seeing what we've been doing. It's been that way since the damn civil rights movement. They copy our civil rights movements, okay? The Black Fist thing, everybody else you see is doing that, putting that on their flags or waving that, putting that on their signs. They got that from us. Because they like, hey, that's how you do it. Them FBAs, that's how you get it done. That's how you do it. So they're doing it like us. Look, I ain't mad at them. If I was an FBA, I want to be FBA too. I can't be mad. I ain't mad. I get it. But just give props to where you got it from. See, that's my only problem. Give props to where you got the game from. That's my only issue. I really do, y'all. I do. If I was an FBA, I want to be FBA too. I get it. I swear to God, I do. But just give props, man. That's all. Is that too much to ask? That's too much for y'all to say, hey, yeah, we got this from them. But y'all gonna copy every single thing we do step by step and then say y'all did it. And we got it from y'all. And y'all can't even copy us right. See, that's the craziest part. Y'all can't copy us right. Y'all, because we the original, y'all trying to make some knockoff copy and saying that the original got it from the knockoff copy. Y'all can't even get the dance moves right. Teachers saying that we taught y'all how to dance. Y'all missing the beat. Y'all can't even rap on beat saying that we got rap from y'all. What are you doing? Don't do that. Don't do that. Let's get to the other super chats. Okay. Flynn again, he says, tethers are deliberately ignoring at the least 5 centuries of separation, trying to make FBA a bush meat eaters. That's true. Let's be honest, and that's a good point. How long do we have to be separated to be separate? 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, 400 years, 500. How long do you have to be separated from a land and be on a completely another land in a completely different continent to be considered separate people? And it's specifically us, because they don't do this with the Caribbean. You don't see Africans when they be all like, hey, it's Haitian Flag Day. They'd be all like, really? You African, right? They don't do that to Haitians. They don't do that to Jamaicans. They don't do that to Puerto Ricans, and they don't do that to the Cubans. They don't do that to the Trinidadians. They don't do that to people from Barbados. They don't do that to them. From Panama, they don't do that to them. They only do that to us. When we say, hey, Juneteenth, that's our holiday. Well, no, technically, because you African, is my holiday too. They only do that with us. Yolanda says, the Dark Money Dem Crew. That's a good name. That's a good name. That's a good name. I like that. I like that. I do. I like that a lot. That's what we should start calling them, the Dark Money Dem Crew. It's too bad that they got exposed early in the game. All of them got exposed early in the game. It's too bad for that. I don't know how many donors y'all gonna be getting now. Y'all can, laughing y'all way up to the bank. And I want y'all to think, this was 5 days ago. This was 5 days ago, y'all. This is not nothing old. These people are active with it. And yet they will come out here with fake criticism of the Democratic Party so they don't seem as if they're shills. They are. They're shills. Okay. Let me see. All right, and then we got our good brother Hurricane sends a super sticker. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate all of y'all support, all of y'all super chats. Thank you guys very much. Much respect to y'all. Respect to the family. Okay. Actually, hold on. I got this one. I got that one from the super chat. And then let me also give a shout out to the Cash Apps. Let me give a shout out to the Cash Apps. I want to give a shout out to Lim. Shout out to Lim for the Cash App. Shout out to Carl. Special shout out to Carl for the Cash App. Thank you so very much, my brother. And then shout out to Lene. Yeah, I'm gonna just say Lene. Shout out to that. Shout out to all of y'all for y'all Cash App. Thank you guys very much, because that really helps. Because I'm telling y'all, I did my homework on these folk tonight. And I'm gonna let it be known, with it being said about him, and first off, this dude is doing all this delineation and we should be Pan-African. This man's mother is white. Deontay, y'all know Deontay's mother is a Caucasian. If y'all didn't know that, his mother is Caucasian. And you got to watch out for them. All of these people are on the take. Him, Conscious Flea, Mr. Lee, and this is why they don't want to debate nobody. They refuse to debate anybody because they know the money's going to dry up. Because if the second you debate a real certified foundation Black American, that's it. It's over with. The second you step in the room, it's over with. With y'all stupid DNC talking points, a man can be pregnant, and we need to support Little Nas X, and we shouldn't care if they call us Akatas or if they say Akata killer, we should turn the other cheek. Y'all step into the room with one of us, it's over with mentally, okay? I'm not wishing harm or bad on them, but it's over with as far as y'all being exposed. Y'all gonna be exposed. I'm not wishing violence. I'm not bullying anybody. I'm not wishing harm on anybody. Letting that be said, letting that be known. I wish no harm on any of them. I'm saying psychologically, I'm not even saying, I'm saying metaphorically, they're going to be exposed for their lies. Their lies will be out in the open. They don't want to be able to debate nobody who can respond to them in real time. Yeah, they'll make a response video and they'll go back and forth making little TikTok videos and little TikTok disses and stuff like that, but they don't really want to get in the mud. I'm telling you, when you live, that's like the real deal, in the mud, for real, for real. We not playing no games. That's how it is when you're live. Okay? That's how it is when you're live. It's the real deal when you're live. You know, when you actually talk to the people, okay? When you talk to the people. Shout out to Junie. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much for that, brother. Shout out to that. Speaking of talking to the people, I think I should do that. Don't y'all think I should do that? I think I should do that. I think I should talk to the people. Y'all think I should? Do y'all want to talk to the people? Let's have a conversation. Speaking of talking to the people, that just, it's like a light bulb just came above my head. I think that's a good idea. Let's get to talking to the people. Let's set that up. Actually, I don't got a lot of time tonight though, because I still got some stuff I got to edit. I still got some stuff, but I ain't talked to y'all in a little bit. So speaking of talking to the people, actually, let's get that set up. Okay. We cannot be too long. I know y'all don't believe me. Every time I say we can't be too long, y'all, I'll be on for like 5 hours. Can't do that today though. Talking about talking to the people, we're gonna do that tonight. And this is something that Deontay isn't gonna do. Now, Deontay, if you're in the room listening, which I know you are, because Conscious does, consciously he does. So if you're in the room listening, you can feel free to call in and you can let it be known consciously. If you're in the room listening, you can feel free to call in and I'll boost you up to the top of the thing. And it'll be just me and you, nobody else, just me and you. And we can have a whole conversation. You ain't going to do it, but we'll have a conversation about it. We'll talk about it if you're brave enough to do that. I know you won't, though. But we're going to set this up. We're going to keep it at a couple minutes per caller. Because some callers, y'all be coming in and y'all be going off, kind of monologuing a little bit. We can't really do that. We can't really do that. So we're gonna have to not do that tonight. Okay. Okay. Hold on. I gotta open up the line by putting in the codes and all that good stuff. Okay, hold on. All right, there we go. Okay, so the phone line number is 949-381-0044. 949-381-0044. First come, first serve. We're not gonna be on long. I'm gonna give about 40 minutes. About 40 minutes. I'm gonna wrap it up there, okay? Because it's just turned 9. So about my time. 9:40. 9:40, we're gonna close it out. Okay. So I don't like Afro. I've been on the phone. Look, man, if y'all want to call in, y'all can call in. But that's the number. The number is 949-381-0044. All right. So y'all call in, y'all make y'all voice clear. Oh, I gotta set the volume up on the thing. Gotta put the volume on. But we do have a caller on the line. We got a couple callers. Make sure everything can be heard. Caller from area code 951. You're on live. Caller from area code. Hold on, let me make sure everything's a go. Caller from area code 951. I can hear you a little. Can you guys hear her? I can hear her a little bit. Oh yeah, much better. What's your name? Where you calling from, sister? Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, hold on. They're saying there's no sound. They're saying there's no sound. Hold on. Oh, my fault, y'all. My fault. I didn't actually. I set the sound up, but I didn't turn the sound on. Okay, my fault. It was I can make mistakes sometimes. I admit I can make mistakes. But this is Southern FBA. Go ahead, start over again, sister. I It's a button. I forgot to press the button, y'all. That's my bad. But go ahead, sister. Start over.
Just showing love, just saying I appreciate all the info and that y'all put out, that you and BX and ZZ and everybody do, and Halo, just all the info that y'all put out about delineating and, just keeping everybody on code. And just saying I appreciate the show and y'all just keeping everybody informed. So, just keep doing what you're doing.
Well, thank you.
And, stay on code. Stay on code.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
All right. You too. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, hit the button. That was a good way to start. All right. Let's get to it. Okay. Here we go. Caller from area code 312.
Yo, what's up? Peace, Afro. This is Rock Love out of Chicago. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what's up, man? Thanks for the broadcast. Thanks for the broadcast tonight. I came in a little late, but I got what the gist is. The dark money, the Dems doing what they do. I'm gonna be very brief, and if you can't go into this right now, I would appreciate it. But if not, I would love for you to do a deep dive. I just watched the broadcast with Professor Griff talking about that there's this video on DHS website saying that this they sort of took an AI video of this what looks to be a Black American, not sure if he's FBA or whatever, and they doctored up his video, and now has it on their website saying that if you look for ICE, we're coming to get you. And so you got Joy Reid and all the Dems really pushing this thing, and it made my antennas go up. I want to know your thoughts about it, because we all know that we're conserving our energy and we're staying out the way, and something tells me this is just another way for them to underhandedly get us out there. What do you think?
I agree. It's to make it seem as if they're literally faking FBA support, because FBAs aren't out there. So they got to fake to make it seem as if we're out there supporting. First off, just to doctor us and make us seem like as if we're involved is dangerous in and of itself. And I would have to do my own deep dive. But if we're talking about Joy Reid and all of that stuff, this is what the DNC is doing, because the DNC is so down so bad. They got to fake our support, because that's the only thing that gives them any legitimacy.
When I look exactly, now look at this though. What's happening is that they've been ineffective of getting us out there. So they're layering on the deception, where they're putting out a fake video that's inciting some type of violence, and then putting out another video that say that no, the other video was fake. You understand what I'm saying? They're really layering up the deception. And now I listened with an open mind. But once I saw Joy Reid and all of them, they're getting out flooding it. Oh, they're coming after Black people now and using AI to target Black people. It's so anyway. I appreciate you, brother. But yeah, if you could do a deep dive on that, and I would appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Appreciate the call. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that some more. Yeah, that's some stuff. Okay, that's some stuff. All right. Hold on. I thought I hit the button. What's up with me and hitting buttons today, y'all? What's up with me and hitting buttons? Miss Nisi, how you doing? How you doing, Miss Nisi?
Good evening, Afro. Good evening, family in the chat. I'm just calling so you can hear my voice. As usual, you own it, baby. But then again, you are anointed. So you going to make it do what it do. Continue to work. Love you.
Love you too. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right. Getting some good calls today. Now, there was some trolls in the chat room. I don't see the trolls calling up. What's wrong? Y'all scared? Caller from area code 574. You're on live.
Hey, how you doing? You got me, Afro? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, how you doing? This is Devon Scott. I love what you're doing, brother. It's beautiful that we have the younger generation speaking and explaining, what's really going on out here. And I'm 55, and I came up in the 80s, the 70s, 80s, baby. So I was with the NWA, and like the kicker ass, the white people, y'all. I'm sorry, but the WT people, we wasn't going for it, and I'm glad to see that, right now today, it's coming back in full, and we ain't gonna kick your ass like that, but we gonna kick your ass. So with that being said, FBA family, I love you all, and let us stay vigilant and stay on course and follow the code.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah, all of these, yeah, we whooping them. And the thing is that they're so frustrated is because we're winning and we're just minding our business. That's what's getting them. They don't even know how to fight that. Like, how do you beat an opponent who's beating you by not fighting you? Like, how does that even make sense? You can't even really think about that. That doesn't make sense. How do you beat somebody who's not in the field? How do you, because you got to make them engage you. How do you beat somebody if they're not even engaging you? They don't know what to do. All right. Caller from area code 678. You're on live.
Hey, what's up, Afro Elite? It's Jeremy Yah, calling from Covington, Georgia, fully FBA. And peace to you, peace to everybody in the chat. What I want to say is, why is 1.5 billion people in Africa worried about 43 million people in the United States doing? That math is not math. It don't make sense. They just need to get their self together before they come out to us. And I still want the link for that chain that you got on your neck, because I want one of those. B1, everybody.
Community thing, because you gotta get custom. Because you got to email about like a custom thing, and then you can ask her what you want, give her references and stuff.
Okay, you got it in your
I put that in the community post on YouTube.
All right, my man. Appreciate you, bro. You have a good one.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. Notice the Pan-Africanists who consistently call us divisive. They don't care about the unity of any African nation. They don't care about the unity of Africa. They don't care about the unity of the Caribbean. They only care about us being quote unquote unified. Only our unity is what matters to them. Because when they say that they don't want to get along with each other, they don't want to participate in each other's festivals or culture or whatever the case is, that gets left alone. That gets ignored. They openly admit that they don't like each other. There's so many tribal beefs going on. We don't, and we're not even bothering anybody. That's the thing. I could see if we was getting in the way of Pan-Africanism. We're not even getting in the way of Pan-Africanism. We're literally minding our business. That's all we're doing is minding our business, saying, okay, well, y'all, we off that. We're just gonna do our own thing. They're trying to drag us back. We're not even messing with nobody. They trying to drag us into something, and we saying no. All right, let's get to the next caller. Let's get to caller from area code 708.
Hello, Afro.
How you doing?
Hey, what's up? How you doing tonight? Yeah. And hello to the FBA / Shalom family around here and stuff like that. Great broadcast tonight, Afro. And it's not gonna be too long. I got something to do. Well, I'm in the middle of eating, so give you a minute. Also this exposure of the side of Democrats, CEOs getting this dog money. A little out of influence out there. These podcasters and stuff. There's no podcasters that's here in Chicago too. There's some 4 black brothers. This channel name the Zelle or something. It's spelled Jaam. it's the channel podcast to look up for some all reason. They're probably another side too, so they not my balance much to that. I just make you a heads up on those type of periods you can look up at another time. You or CG to look them up another time, okay? So,
All right.
Thanks for so thanks for calling to you, okay?
All right, thank you.
Good night.
All right, you have a good one.
All right.
All right, okay. That's something. Okie doke. All righty then. We'll look into that. Caller from area code 202. You're on live. Caller from area
Is
code
this area code?
212. 212, you're on live.
212.
212, yep, you're on live. You can go ahead.
Hey, this is Ruth calling from Harlem, New York at area code 212. Salute to the FBA family and salute to you, Afro Elite. I know this is a side issue, but I wanted to bring something up. Remember, the first time that we heard the word Akata was when Wesley Snipes did New Jack City, and he said, wait a minute, what is this whole Akata thing? So remember how long that was. So we've all been just not even realizing, how the Africans really had vitriol for us a long, long time ago before we even realized it. And I just wanted to contribute that. I know it doesn't have to do with dark money, but I thought we would bring that up. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's a good point. And that's something that we got to address too. Like we can't make it seem as if we're just now noticing this. This is something that, and it's not something that we just love Tariq so much we're just gonna believe anything Tariq has to say. No, this is something collectively that we've kind of always known. We've kind of always noticed that there's a mistreatment of our community, foundational Black Americans. There's a mistreatment of us by tethers. We've always known that. It's just that when we actually start calling it out, when we start putting a name on it, it all starts to make sense. It all starts to come together and to click. And I give Tariq his credit for coming up with the term or like using the term, making the term popularize the word tether. Okay, he got from the movie Us. He's the one who like came up with that term, right? But the thing is that it's not like we was Pan-Africanists before. We kind of been known that there was an issue with them. We got receipts spanning way back before FBA, because going back to the dude who was calling us Akata, Uncle Toby, he's been calling us Akata before FBA was even a term. So it's not like FBA started anything. They've been calling us Akatas. They've been on that type of time.
Agreed. I've had quite a few conversations with Jason Black about the same thing.
Yep.
Agreed.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you so much for your time. And Black first.
Black first, sister, thank you very much. And I appreciate your call. All right. Now let's get to caller from area code 562. You're on live.
Hey, what's up, Afro Elite, man? This your boy FBA Dynasty, man, out of LA, bro. And first thing I want to say, they know goddamn well ain't no Tariq Nasheed don't run shit with the grassroots community. See, one thing I want to say, Afro Elite, is when you when you piss the grassroots Black American community off, you know what I'm saying? We don't let you slide on nothing. See, old girl is, she might have messed her career off as far as I'm concerned with the Black community. Anytime you try to sleep a merchant candidate in there and try to come with some backdoor Santa Claus crap, man, thinking that you trying to slide in some Democrat shield shit in, with our lineage, that's gonna bite you in the ass. And see, now all those Democrat paid shielders getting called out. Mauna Leo looking like a goddamn goofy, looking like a goddamn fool. She might well put on a crooked ass wig like the rest of the damn tethers that be coming on TikTok and on X, you know, coming with the derogatory wars towards the lineage. And this is a desperate guys out of the Democrats, man. They know that the grassroots, when the grassroots speak, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna speak loud. And we ain't gonna let nothing slide, man, with these folks, man. These folks been trying to undermine this, man, and been trying to come with some way to crowbar their way in to try to act like they get some support from Black Americans, and we're not, man. Reparations is on the table, man. We don't care about, you know, all lives matter and we all colors and, you know, we all in this together and, you know what I'm saying, Black and Brown coalition, all that's over with and it's been over with way before COVID. And they don't really realize that, Afro Elite. And what they got to understand, man, is that we ain't going nowhere, bro. You know what I'm saying? You cannot defeat grassroots, bro. You cannot go against the grassroots. They don't run nothing. The Democrats don't run nothing. The Republicans don't run nothing. The people run it. And if we decide to hold out,
I'm gonna let you land because I gotta get to the other speakers, but I'm gonna let you land.
Yeah, I'm gonna land. It's going. Let the Republicans get in office again, and we will all uncomfortable, all together. When I'm out.
Like first, brother, thank you very much. Look, I'm letting y'all know all of these people coming up. Y'all gotta understand that y'all gotta read the room. Y'all gotta read the room. It's you gotta read the room. This is not that no more. Y'all think that we don't have the influence and y'all think that we don't have the control that we do. Y'all wouldn't be talking about us if we didn't. If FBA didn't matter, and if FBA was just a small group of people online and we weren't their lineage, okay, we weren't the collective, if we didn't matter, if we were irrelevant, they wouldn't be constantly bringing us up. They wouldn't be constantly being upset. They're upset and they're bringing us up is because every time they try to make a plan, we're the ones disrupting that plan. We're the ones stopping all of the agendas. We're the ones messing up their whole program. They have a program going and they've been going with the program for years now. And we coming in there throwing a monkey wrench in their program. Okay. We're the ones stopping them. Okay. Let that be the truth. All right. So, hey, all of that stuff. Come on. Y'all read the room wrong. That's it for y'all. That's it. Y'all gonna learn the hard way. It seems. Let's get to caller from area code 571.
Hey, this is Cherokee calling out of Houston. Just want to make a quick observation. If you do an internet search on Mona Leo, Uncle Toby, and Mexican OT, you'll see that there was a freestyle where her, Mexican OT, and Maxwell Cream were on. And so the connection is that they're all managed by Uncle Toby. And so back when Mexican OT did that interview and he's talking about using the N-word in a room full of Black men and was saying that who's going to stop him, you can see the Black men that he was in the room with. So I'll land with that.
Okay. Uncle Toby. Okay. Okay. I'm going to look into that. Hold on. Let me see. But thank you very much for that.
Sure, they're all three in the picture.
You said all three of them are in the picture?
Yeah, you'll see it's a Red Bull Spiral Freestyle, and in the middle is Mona Leo. On the left is Mexican OT, and on the right, Maxo Cream.
Okay, well, I'm going to look into that. Thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. All right. I did a little Google thing and couldn't find it, so I'm going to have to do a little deeper dive. But I want to make sure I get to the other speakers because we're not going to be on too much later. All right. So I just want to be fair to everybody. Caller from area code 614. You're on live. Caller from area code 614. You're on live. Okay. Going once. Going twice. Oh. All righty then. Caller from area code 281. You're on live.
Hey, Afro. This is Descended from Greatness. I just wanted to say hello, chat. I just wanted to say, like, I really appreciate everything that you guys are doing. I'm so glad that you are waking people up from Pan-Africanism because they're working overtime on our HBCUs and other college campuses to try to get young, impressionable FBA students into this Pan-Africanism. And also wanted to talk about like how they're trying to co-opt, cosplay who we are, and then downplay what we've achieved, and then they come here with high confidence, knowing the crap hole they came from, come here and see what we have, and try to humble us, make us feel like we're nothing, and and conflate their ego. And unfortunately, a lot of FBA don't know their history and what they come from, descending from greatness. But I also just want to say this one point, and then I'll land my plane, is that these people, they have like this white savior complex. We already know this. And they also love, this white T Jesus, not the real Jesus, the evangelized, blonde hair, blue-eyed white Jesus, right? And they will diminish FBA down when they want to insult us, calling us akatas and slave babies and cotton pickers, all these type of names. But they love white Jesus. And Jesus descended from what we would call Egyptian. He's an Egyptian descendant of slavery, right? That he's descended of slaves because the Jews were enslaved in Egypt for hundreds and hundreds of years. So they're trying to. These people globally know how great Black Americans are. They saw Jesus is an actual descendant of slaves and what he became, and they don't want Black Americans to acknowledge our greatness. They're trying to write our history and try to brainwash us or take over our legacy to try to co-opt it and try to diminish us. And when they can't do that, they start calling us xenophobic and trying to downplay all the accomplishments that we've done. But they know how great we are. They don't want us to know that. And that's on a global scale. People always have FBA on their mind. And it's something spiritual going on where they know who we are, but we don't know who we are. A lot of our people don't know who we are, and they don't stand in that greatness. So I just want to show appreciation for what you do, what you guys do, because it's waking up a lot of people. And just like, Candace Owens likes to try to go to our schools and try to push that little narrative, whatever she does, we need more FBA people to go on these college campuses and spreading the word of, being taking pride in who we are, because if we don't do it, those cosplayers will. And I'll lay my plane there.
Yeah, that's true. And thank you very much for your support, because we got to do this as a team, as a unit, as a family. And I appreciate your support for that, because by you being here and by everybody in here, everybody who's still in here now, everybody listening on the playback as well, too, by us all being here, we're working together with that. So I appreciate every single last one of you guys. All right. So thank you very much. And I like Descended from Greatness. That's a good name.
You.
And with that, so thank you for that. You have a good one.
FBA, we're all descended from greatness. We are the apex of all the Blacks globally ever in time. So they hate that. They don't want us to be great. They want us to not know our greatness so that they can take over that. And I just want to say this: there is an active plan. Like, people talk about birth tourism. There's a lot of birth tourism going on in Africa, where they are coming here on visas and dropping anchors and then going back to, Nigeria, other countries, and then, having the ones who are here carrying them on their income taxes and saying that that baby lives here. And then when that child grows up and they're able to come to America and go to college here and get these quote unquote African American name to get scholarships and grants off of us.
That's true.
I personally,
but we got to get to some of the other callers real quick. We only got a little bit of time left. I got to get to some of the other callers.
Sorry,
so thank
I
you.
to say that.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Respect the passion. I respect the passion. All right, caller from area code 404. You're on live. 404.
Yes, good evening. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, what I wanted to say was all that Pan-African crap ain't nothing but a bunch of bull crap. Man, I've been to Africa 6 or 7 times, and all Africa is a bunch of tribes from the top of the Horn of Jordan all the way down to South Africa. All it is tribal. Second thing I want to say, I want to know how many in the Congressional Black Caucus has said that they're going to vote for reparations. And I land my plane with that.
Mm-hmm. That's a good question.
Thank you.
I can't think of anybody. I that's a good question though. Thank you. The only people I can think of are people who talk about some HR 40 and these other things, but that's not even real reparations, y'all. It's really not. Okay. So for actual for real reparations, ain't none of them has been there and made an official statement in support of reparations. All right. None.
Well, can I ask this? Well, can I ask another question then?
Yeah,
Should
go ahead.
we try to primary these people, or how would, if we as FBAs, how would we get in Congress? Should we go under the Democratic thing, or should we start on our own party? Because I don't see us getting reparations until we get people in that office. Now, we can make great speeches and we could do all of these different things, but the money is not going to flow until somebody votes for it. And those guys, that Congressional Black Caucus that we got right now, they ain't it. I'm going to tell you. That's not it. So I would love your opinion on that.
Okay. Well, if using a situation with Marcel Dixon, when Marcel Dixon was running, he was running under the Democratic Party. Okay. As the ticket. The thing is that when people talk about the party being the ticket, or whether that's Republican or Democrat or independent, green, whatever the case may be, none of that stuff matters as much as the agenda of the candidate. The agenda of the candidate matters more than anything and everything else, more than the party. The party is the biggest indicator of the agenda of said candidate, because most candidates are aligned with the agenda of the party. Now, you saw Marcel being the exception.
Right.
Okay, so if we want to go independent, okay, we can go independent. If folk want to be Democrat, okay, as long as the agenda of the candidate aligns with the agenda of the community, that's what we need to be supporting. You know, so we got to take case by case basis.
Yes, I understand that. One more thing, if those Democrats are not lining up with what we as FBA want, number one, reparations in the form of cash payments, if they're not lining up with that, should we not have somebody in place to run against them? I mean, out of all the congressional, and I'm talking the Democratic Party as a whole, but right now we're dealing with black folk in the Congressional Black Caucus. You think that we should have somebody lined up to challenge anyone who will not publicly say or state that they will vote for reparations when that bill and if that bill ever comes up?
Yeah, we can. We definitely will.
And I'm landing my plane. I didn't mean to hold you.
Oh, thank you very much for that. We will. You know, we're already seeing the rise of people who want to be involved in politics, whether that's their local politician, whether that's state representatives. We're already seeing people start off on local politics, kind of start off small and then grow, and with their knowledge and resources and connections and things, and then move up the ladder. Because, you know, shooting for the top is an uphill battle, but we are seeing people start on a smaller, more obtainable local level and then move up the ladder that way. So eventually we'll have a crowd of people who are on code, Foundational Black American brothers and sisters who are on code, who are ready to come and get them out the way. And they need us. And the problem is that they're in a rock and a hard place, because we're working on their replacement and they're not getting anything from us, because in the meantime, we're staying on the couch and we're just making stuff happen in the meantime. So they're not getting the support they need. which is why they keep having to come up with these damn Democratic shills, these DNC shills, Deontay, Lene, consciously, all of these shills to try to re-engage us in the community. But let me get to
I'm
some of the
landing
other
my
callers.
plane. I really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you, sir. Take care.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Let's get to some of the other callers real quick. Let's get to caller from area code 267.
Hey, Afro Elite. It's
How you
Curtis
doing?
from Philadelphia.
Okay, what's on your
You
mind?
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, I just want thank you, young brother, for doing an outstanding job, man. And that movie that lady was talking about, it was not New Jack City. It was called Sugar Hill with Wesley Snipes and Michael White when they talk about the Lakota. It was called Sugar Hill.
Yeah, because somebody said New Jack City, I think it was, and I'm all like, I don't remember that New Jack City, but okay, Sugar Hill.
Yeah, that young lady. Yeah, it was Wesley Snipes and his brother. His name is Michael White. He the one playing the Five Heartbeats.
Okay.
Yeah, and another thing, I just want to ask, man, how can these tethers, like I guess consciously, how can they defeat us, Afro, and we going up and we beat the machine? So ain't no way on God's green earth that these tethers can stop us. Always remember that, man. These people, if we beat the machine, man. We literally destroy the Democrat Party, man. Destroy. They ain't got nobody. Because every time they talk about Gavin Newsom, I call California and talk to one of his people. Gavin Newsom will never see. Only time Gavin Newsom will see the White House when he's driving past. That's the only time. You understand? So like I said, man, God bless you, brother, man. My wife is praying for you, brother. I love listening to y'all on For the Culture, man. I love your channel. I was listening to what's his name, Black Church, man. Oh, that brother's deep too, man. I said, wow, man. Congratulations. I said, because I had to give. I know when I'm 65. I know when I had my time. Now is your time, young brother. You understand? It's your time now. And like I said, man, my wife is praying for you. Let's keep it the good work, brother. Okay, man. And God bless
Yes,
you.
sir.
Okay, absolutely. And you have a blessed day. Okay, man.
Yes, sir. You too. You have a blessed one. Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Okay. All right, sir.
I appreciate the support there. Thank you for that. Yeah, they can't win. They can't win. Because the thing is that they don't have the people power. They have the industry, but the industry needs the people to give them power. They don't have that. The power is here. That's why they're sitting up there trying to do a debate. I can open up the phone lines with no screener. I don't do any screeners. I don't know who's going to call in. You saw ever since unconsciously, cowardly, you saw ever since he said that he was going to challenge FBA, he hasn't opened up the phone line since. He hasn't opened up no debate, no phone line, no call in since then. Okay, I can do it just out of the whim, like, hey, you know what? I want to talk to y'all, and I let anybody call up. Okay, that shows authenticity. He can't do that because he's scared he'll be exposed. I don't have anything that anybody can expose me for, so I can do this just off the whim. I talk to people on a regular basis on For the Culture. I can open up the phone lines just off the cuff, no screener or nothing. They can't do that. Deontay can't do that. Consciously can't do that. Lene, none of them can do that. Getting to the next caller. Caller from 704. You're on live.
Yeah, Afro Elite. This is Rob from Baltimore. I just wanted to say really quick, bro, because I know you pressed for time, man. Listen, I can't thank you guys enough for what you do for our people. I know, like, you're on the inside of the house looking out, so because it's you doing it, and you can't probably understand the tremendous impact that you guys are having on foundational Black Americans. Like, all my life, I grew up like hearing we Black people in America, we lack unity. We need unity, and I kind of believed that for a while. But people like yourself, one of the main voices in the new Black media, y'all taught us about codification, We need to be on code, and that's what you guys are really breaking through our people with, man. And I can't thank you guys enough. All of you guys, ZZ, your partner, you guys do a fantastic job. But as Mona Leo, she, you know what I mean? She just, for real, she a clown, man. You know what I mean? She came in cosplaying under the Sulon thing and had people a little, you know, excited or curious or whatever, you know, people were early in the game. And she flamed out on some scam African stuff. And that tether manager of hers with these tweets that were unearthed, they were so virulently anti-Black American, man. These people are fake, they're phony, and they can never stand next to, you know, you brothers and sisters in the new Black media. Thank you so much. God bless y'all, man, and keep up the great work. Thank you a million times for what y'all do for us, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody else who supports. I appreciate the family. All right, let's get to the last few callers here. Caller from area code 609.
Yeah, Afro, what's up? You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, speaking on election thing, the Gavin Newsom thing, man, that's dead on arrival, man, because the thing out there with the reparation, and I can see right now about 2027, he going to do the Breakfast Club. He gonna go in there, give his little talking points. Then he gonna go to the church, and then he gonna go to the barber shop, and he gonna talk to one of them barbers, and the barber gonna ask him, I want to ask you about the college tuition, and you know, the same old nonsense. And then somebody else gonna ask him about marijuana. It's like the only thing that we as Foundation Black Americans want is college tuition and marijuana. They're not gonna ask him about reparation or nothing like that. So he's dead on arrival, and I know he's gonna try to come through with some victories on paper about Black unemployment is at 13%, and when he's in California is at 1%, and all democracy and nothing. No, you got to answer about the reparation. You got to also answer about them racist Los Angeles council people. We also got to answer about the racist Latinos on the police force. So he's dead on arrival, and for them to think that, you know, this whole thing with girlfriend, to her with this whole thing about the Pan-Africanism nonsense, this dude gonna sit there and say that, yeah, you know, they can say we don't got no culture and we eat slave food. We just got to take the high road. Nah, that's not going down, bro. None of that ain't going down. If we say something, we xenophobic. No, it doesn't work like that. And I'd be damned if I let somebody who come from a hut come over here talking about we don't got no culture. Peace, bro.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. That's real talk. Real talk. I appreciate that. And how many last couple callers? There's some callers y'all called in recently. I'm gonna be I'm trying to be fair to everybody. Caller from area code 614. You're on live.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Nice to meet you. I just had a couple of thoughts. I find it funny how we have a lot of African immigrants who come to America, and they come with $1 and a dream, I guess, with nothing. And they say they worked from the ground up and they made it, and how come Black Americans can't do the same because they was able to do it? But they don't talk about the benefits that they've received. They don't talk about the incentives that they've received from coming over to the country. They don't talk about a lot of things that they receive that a lot of Black Americans don't receive. So I just thought about that and found that interesting. And they also they receive scholarships and things like that that Black Americans don't. We have other immigrants like Indians and Arabs can start a store in a snap of a finger, and yet we struggle to create a business. So I just found stuff like that interesting.
And the more we tell the story about that, and I'm gonna be real quick, the more we tell the story about that, the more esteem that we're gonna get, because we've always been told and gaslit with, well, you know, if they can do it, why can't y'all do it? But y'all been helping them out the whole way through. They come over and they get so many there's so many programs, organizations, and set aside specifically for them that we don't get to touch. Now, the stuff that we get, they can get too, but the stuff that they get, we can't get. So they get to double dip. That's the thing.
Exactly. That's what I was trying. Yeah, I was trying to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, you said it right. Yeah, they get to double dip.
Yeah, that's how. Right. So they can't look down on us for things that we don't even receive that they receive. So it's just odd.
That's
That's
correct.
all I wanted to say. Nice to meet you.
Nice to talk to you. What did you say your name? What was your name?
Reese from Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, okay. Well, nice to meet you. Nice talking to you. All right. Thank you very much for the call, sister. Okay. All right. We're gonna get stuff. We're gonna get stuff going. I'm trying to get the last two. I'm gonna try to get the last two, and I'm actually going a little bit above my time, to be honest with you. But trying to get the last two. Caller from area code 678. 678. Okay.
Hey, Afro, how you doing?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
Hello? I'm doing well, doing well. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have enough time to do this. On the last time you had a call in, a gentleman called in saying that he was a minister and said that FBAs need to focus on restitution versus reparation.
I remember.
Right. So I was just wondering if I could quickly respond to that. And anyway, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you can respond real quick.
Okay, real quick. All right. Throughout the scripture, you see God moving in certain ways. You see his hand move in creation. You see his hand move in the flood. You see his hand move when he called fire down from heaven, or he caused fire to come down from heaven. However, at other times, you see where man becomes the hand of God, like Samson versus the Philistines, David versus Goliath. And let me focus on David and Goliath real quick. Whereas David represents black empowerment, Goliath represents white supremacy. And it was that stone of reparations that went into the head of the giant that brought him down. And then, even though it was a bad wound, the giant wasn't dead until after David took the sword from his hand and cut the head off. That head represents, if you will, non-white compliance. As soon as you take non-white compliance out of the system of white supremacy, it is dead. Anyway, all I'm saying is FBA continue to be the hand of God and bring about reparations. Don't wait for God's hand to bring restitution. You be the hand that brings reparations. I'm done.
All right. Thank you, brother. You know what they say, faith without work is dead, right? So that's what we're doing. We putting in the work. Thank you very much for that, caller. All right. We'll get to this one last call, then we'll wrap things up. We'll wrap things up right here. Okay. Because we don't want to go too far. Caller from area code 334. You're on live.
Yes, sir. This is Lamar Shaheed from Montgomery, Alabama. Earlier, a caller mentioned whether we should go with a particular party or start our own. Majority of the states in America, the citizenry has what's called the initiative. We can draft our own bills and present it to the representatives of the state or the senators, et cetera, and have them sponsor our own bills. When it comes to reparations, I think the grassroots, we always on code. We should go ahead, draft our own bills, and then whoever's in there representing or being a senator, you hold them to task. You know what I'm saying? They can sign it or they can not sign on what we develop. So that way nobody else is trying to tell us what we want, et cetera, whether it's, colleges or this or something that's toothless. You know what I'm saying? We develop our own thing. We work and we strategize with each other, stay on code, and present it.
Okay.
So I'll leave with that.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, because we can have more influence outside of just being in politics. We need people in politics, but
Absolutely.
our influence doesn't start and stop at that point. Look at the Republicans. The Republicans got people who lobby them all of the time. And none of these people are political officials. You get the Charlie Kirks and all of that. And I'm not saying that because of course they go hand in hand. But Charlie Kirk wasn't a political official, but he had a lot of leverage, you know. So our power doesn't have to only be in office. So we gotta keep an open mind to everything that we can do.
Yeah, and I think that's where our code, staying on code, comes from. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really have to stay on code in what we do. Vetting people, checking people. I'm loving the checking. But vetting and checking people, and then we have to unplug from their system and reboot in our own. We really have, that's kind of what the brother was just talking about in the last one. We have to get away from everything that they have to offer and start presenting that for ourselves. And we do it as a collective, even if it means organizing to where we start, you know, naming our own local committees or whatever, you know what I'm saying, that's actually on the national push, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
All right, I'm out with that.
Appreciate
I'm
that,
out,
brother.
brother.
Appreciate that.
Yep, everybody blessing.
Have a good one. You know, we can. I get to this one last one. I'll be a little nice today, even though we were a little bit late. We went a little over, but that happens. We'll get to this last one, and we'll wrap things up. Caller from area code 214.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so my name is Fanita. Thanks, Ron. I listen to you quite a bit, and the question that I have, I am a newly found foundational Black American. I'm also Latina on my father's side, and what I found really disturbing in my last 2 months.
Can I ask you a question? Let me just ask you a question.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So your dad is Hispanic, right? Or Latino, right? And your mom,
yes.
You're saying your mom is FBA?
Yes.
Okay.
She's a mixture of Native American
that up. Okay.
and FBA. Yeah. Morton Dean in Richmond, Virginia. He was the first, one of the first city councilmen, Black city councilmen. That's my great grandfather.
Okay.
Anyway, and so I am foundational, and his father was enslaved as well. And what's disheartening to me right now in the 2 months of me studying is that for the first time today, I related the ghetto as descendants of slavery. And it hurt me to a point that I decided to come online with you, because what are we going to do about that when I'm on programs for the door of return, which is the door of return in Africa. And I think the door of return is right here for us, for foundational Black Americans. It's to return to those that are in somewhat still enslavement in the projects and in ghettos. So I'm wondering, what can we do, as me being a newly foundational Black American awareness? How do we reach back? That's the the door of return right there, when we get the courage to do something about the descendants, because they are descendants trapped.
Okay. I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. First off, let me clear something up. You keep saying like new. You're a new FBA. I mean, you're either born an FBA or not, you know what I'm saying? You might have just learned that about yourself, but I just want to clear that up, because I don't want people to feel as if this is like a membership where you can be initiated into it or anything like that. Because some people will clip this up and take that online and put their own spin on that. And I don't want that to happen. You're either FBA or not. It's just by birth, it's by your lineage. So I just don't want that to be confused. To the year of return from we're home. You can't return anywhere outside of home, and we just got to recognize that. Now, the more we start recognizing and speaking truth to power about the fact that we are home, the less the year of return, which is really it was a real big finesse. And we can get into that maybe another time, because that was a big finesse. The less that they're able to finesse us with the go back to Africa and the year of return and all of that stuff, we got to understand we have a homeland here that we need, and we've had gardens here. I'm using the garden as an analogy, and we have had gardens here that was starting to bear fruit, and then we had some people sabotage our gardens, which is our neighborhoods. I'm using the analogy. Now we got to realize, instead of leaving and going someplace else, no, we got to return back to the field. We got to get rid of all of the poison that's in our community. We got to put rich soil down, and now we have to protect it. One of the things that farmers do is they put up different things that protect. They put up different like tents and things that protect their crops from insects eating it and all of that. All right, so this is what we got to do. We got to protect our crops. We got to protect it. We built it before, and we're going to do it this time. This time we're just going to create a field around it to protect it from the parasites that come in there and start eating up all of the crops. So we realize, instead of going anyplace else, no, we gotta accept that this is home. It's not a return to anywhere else. We're accepting that this is home. As far as the ghetto, Black America, first off, you compare our ghettos to anybody else's ghettos, we have the nicest, cleanest, most sophisticated, violent, less ghettos. Okay, the whole world has been a ghetto until we saved the world. Let's be honest with you. Europe was a ghetto until we saved Europe. The Moors had to come and save Europe. They're the original ghetto. Okay, so nobody can say nothing about us being a ghetto. They have ghettos today, and they don't even have a reason for having a ghetto. At least we can say that they destroyed our community. They can't say that. We've been bombed. They ain't been bombed. We got a reason for having a ghetto. What's your reason for having a ghetto? But they keep socializing and having the word ghetto or hood synonymous with Black people. And we got to speak against that.
Well, I don't look at it as being together. I just look at it as the redlining and everything like that did diminish and put us in underserved areas. I just said ghetto projects. I'm from that too, so it's not embarrassing.
Okay. Yeah. All right. But thank you for your call. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
All right. You have a good one. All right. We'll wrap things up there, y'all. We'll wrap things up there. I think that was good, because people are just going to keep calling. For the next person, just hit me back, y'all. Hit me back. Y'all make sure y'all call in next time. We kind of did this at the spur of the moment. So normally we will have a call-in show soon, so that way people just get to call in, and we just going to chat it up with the family. We're just going to do that then, but tonight we're just going to keep it how we doing now. Okay. So we off. All right, there we go. There we go. Let me get the phone line off. Yeah, we've had a good one. We had a real good one. Yep. Most of the callers were good. The callers were good, actually. Normally we have some callers that be like real off, like we have some tethers call in, and we have some tethers in the chat room, but they didn't want to call in. So that's a pleasant surprise. Normally they do. So when they don't, that's a pleasant surprise that we just get to chop it up with the family, and we get to talk about what we want to talk about, and letting it be known that as foundational Black Americans, we run everything. We run the yard. We're running the community. We have the influence. So with that, and I want you guys to understand, even though they're trying to co-opt the Black American heritage flag or whatever, we as foundational Black Americans, we've been doing this before everybody else was. Now you're starting to see Black American heritage flag be put up all over the place. We was doing that before it was a trend on TikTok. Before it was a trend on TikTok, this flag has been here. You guys have seen this flag here for years. This flag and this flag, both these flags have been here. Y'all been seeing this for years. This is before some trend. We're not the trend followers. We're the trend makers. We make the trends. They follow the trends. It's not the other way around. We're the ones who start the delineation, and pushing for that, and pushing for reparations, and talking about our uniqueness as a community, our uniqueness as a lineage and as a heritage and ethnic group. We've been the ones doing that, and everybody else has been following along. Everybody else has been getting on our page now. All right, we the one who doing that, and they'll pretend that they don't know who we are. They'll pretend, but they know who beating them. Trust me, they do. They get the same emails and talking points, all because they all sound the same. They all sound like they've been programmed to say the same thing. They regurgitate the same information. So they all have the same headmasters, the same paymasters, the same donators. So they all know. You don't think the enemy knows who is beating them? I want y'all to think about that. Y'all don't think the enemy knows who's messing their plans up? Y'all don't think they know who's messing up their campaigns? Y'all don't think they don't know who's messing up their protest? Y'all don't think we sent up there, the mayors know who we are. We got mayors of major cities knowing who we are on a first name basis. So no, they know who we are. They can keep pretending. And I'm gonna let you know they're never gonna admit that they're losing. That's just not how they do. Okay. That's just not how they do. Let me get to some of the other super chats though. Let me get to some of the other super chats. Tobias says, thanks, Afro Elite. B1 FBA all day. All right, here we go. Thank you very much for that. And then Enoch says, origin of Afro Elite name. Okay. Why is the Afro part of we're not African? You used to grow a bush, aka Afro. Okay. Did y'all used to be the African lie, or why? Okay. All right. Well, Afro, boy, y'all be upset about the name so much. It's just be something else. I don't even know if that was a question, and I already talked about the name anyway. Afro is also a hairstyle, if y'all didn't know that. Okay. Anyway, let's get to the next one. Next one, let's get to, okay, trying to see the good in her. Okay, appreciate the super stickers. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate all the support. Folks gonna be mad. They just gonna be mad. They just gonna find something. They're gonna find something to be mad about. Come on now. Afro Elite is a code name. Let's not act like Afro Elite is not a code name. Afro, then come on now. We're not African. Okay, well, I didn't say we were. Like, okay. It would be, I could see if it was African Elite. I could see that, but it's Afro. Come on now. It's a code name. Don't be hate. Don't hate. It's a code name. All right. And I'm not changing. I know y'all don't like it. It's okay. Y'all gonna be okay. Lord. Anyway, before y'all go, I would appreciate y'all hitting that like button. That's very important. Hitting that subscribe button, leaving a comment, and hitting the notification bell. All of that stuff is greatly appreciated, much respected, very, very, very important. So thank you guys for that. I appreciate you guys so very much, my beloved family, my brothers and sisters. Thank you guys for that. We winning. The enemy knows it. They don't want to admit it, but they don't have to, because we know it. They don't have to admit that we winning, because we know we winning. If we running laps around them, the second place, third place losers don't have to admit that we in first place. We know we in first place. As long as I know I'm in first place and you guys know that you guys are in first place, that's all that matters. With that being said, y'all have a good night and y'all stay blessed.